All right, so we're going to gavel in this morning, and as we've noted, it is time to begin our meeting, and I would ask that you rise at this time for the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States of America and to our Texas flags. And I was saying that someone sent me a beautiful prayer, and so I would like to give invocation this morning. Would you please bow your heads? God of the seen and unseen, God of our work and play, God of our hope and our love, grant us peace today. Help us to see your hand in all things. Help us to trust your wisdom. Help us to see the gifts we have received and use them according to the needs around us to benefit all. Give us a generous heart and a willing spirit to accept the roles you have given to us. Send us your Holy Spirit to counsel us and guide us this morning. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, here we are. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, thank you. And as I said earlier, before we really got officially started, happy St. Patrick's Day. It is March 17th, 2021. The time for the clerk is 8:40 a.m. We are on the third floor of the Nueces County Courthouse, 901 Leopard. And I do certify that all commissioners are present and accounted for, and therefore a quorum has been established. Rebecca's here with us to give us our safety briefing.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners, and attendees. A wee bit of sunshine and joy to you all. Our safety briefing for today, March 17th, is being held in the Nueces County Commissioner's Courtroom. The restrooms are located at the right-hand side of the third floor atrium, past the Human Resources Office. There is a fire extinguisher located at the rear of the courtroom, and also 5 additional fire extinguishers located throughout the atrium area. In the event of a cardiac emergency, an AED is located on the right wall next to the Human Resources Office. Participant for today who will be responsible for dialing 911 will be Connie. Participants CPR certified in attendance will be the emergency vehicles, or remember, anyone can render aid. In the event of evacuation, our egress route will be slowly down the atrium stairs, proceeding out the doors located on the LaPan Street side of the courthouse and assemble in the parking lot across the street. It is important to stay together. Should there be a need to shelter in place, depending upon the severity of the shelter in place, the courtroom double doors will be secured and remain secure until given further instructions from the Nueces County Sheriff's Office or other law enforcement agencies. Our guest sanitizer for the day will be Michael. Our safety topic for the month of March is illegal parking in fire lanes poses safety issues. The LaPan side entrance is illegally marked as a fire zone. After the last construction phase of the walkway, fire zones should have been marked with a red painted curb or a boundary area and a standard fire zone sign. Fire zones are to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the public. The cost of painting and signing the fire zones shall be solely that of the owner or possessor of the real property. Likewise, maintenance of the fire zones shall be the sole responsibility of the owner or possessor of the real property. No person shall park, stop, or leave standing a vehicle in an area or space set aside and identified by painting and signage as a fire zone. They are either used to reserve a space for emergencies, improve the flow of traffic, or allow ample room for cars to see who's coming as they make a turn. We do have departments and law enforcement vehicles parked for their convenience instead of emergencies. I do feel they do this due to the improperly marked area. It is our responsibility that we give all emergency vehicles, employees, and the public the safest chance of evacuating the building. And this concludes our risk management safety briefing for today. Thank you.
Thank you. We will try to rectify those situations. It's always good to tell us what we're doing wrong with the county attorney close by. Good, as they say, well done, well done. It's time for public comment, and there's none this morning, so I'll move on to any adoptions of proclamations and orders, and then I'm going to take us out of order because we have Judge Klein with us this morning, and I'd like to advance an item that I placed on the agenda for clarification, and then also we'll discuss the mask order as well. So this one is in support of Senate Bill 781. It's already part of our legislative agenda. As we get bills numbered and filed, we like to come to court for resolutions. So this is nothing new. It's just a formal resolution in support of what we already have approved. Is there a motion for support of this resolution?
Judge, I'm sorry,
F1, I'm sorry.
My bad, no.
F1.
just trying to catch
Oh,
up.
do you want to know which item or
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
F1. I'm still in order. I'm not out of order yet. Out of the normal order of
Sorry,
the.
okay, I thought you were going out of, my apologies.
Did I miss something?
No,
Okay,
I'm just keeping up, my bad.
okay. So again, all this does is memorialize it. We take this with us and we put it as part of our packet for our legislative agenda. And again, it's optional, so.
Motion to support.
Okay.
Senate Bill 781.
Thank you, Commissioner Modis, and is there a second? Okay,
What
well,
will this get, what will this get to a judge?
this will allow us permission to bring to court, if and when we need it, a $10 fee to be used for roads in the future. It's permissive.
second
And it, okay, thank you. Second, and all those in favor, or any discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Aye, opposed, same sign. Okay, we'll get that to Joel Romo, please. He's kind of keeping up with our little packet that we have, that keeps growing.
By the way, Senator Hinojosa filed this for us,
Yes.
as he did last session,
Yes.
and we have it ready for signature.
And you know what's kind of interesting is that we saw a bill very similar in the Senate as well, and it comes from a very different source. And so we might have traction this year because it might be able to combine. In other words, there's a bipartisan movement all of a sudden for these infrastructure bills. And again, only because they're permissive. So that's kind of exciting. We'll keep everybody up to date on that. Okay, so I want to make certain that I advanced item number B1 at this time, B1. And then I'll talk about, and then A2. Well, you know what, I guess, yeah, let's do B1, because really A2 is something that we've already discussed for our courthouse, but Tyner will explain the need for the consideration of the policy regarding to other buildings, including the Richard Borchard Fairgrounds. So on B1, really, this was an item that, as you know, came to court last time and we tabled. And all I wanted to suggest here is that, quite frankly, I'm going to motion to table again, but it gives me the opportunity to say that I'll be addressing the Board of Judges around lunch, 11:30 today, 11:30 noon. I'll have to take a small recess, because what we want to do is ask for their recommendation as to this position's really job description, because it really has not had that update in many years. And also whether or not, as was originally contemplated many years ago, whether this should have a JD preferred. That was the really intent and concept of it being on the agenda in the first place was for this Commissioners Court to bring to light that a JD would trigger a different position as far as reclassification. And so I think there was a misunderstanding that needs to be clarified. And so I'm going to bring that back to you guys next court, once the Board of Judges has had a chance to, discuss and make up their minds whether they want to pursue a resolution with regards to this position. So this was just an opportunity to let you know where we are. And I also had the ability to discuss this with the district attorney as well. So I think it was just important that I let the court and the public know that we've had the opportunity to discuss it, and we're going to seek further guidance. But so that we're very clear, originally, the Board of Judges did have, this is many years ago, but originally, it did have the position specified as a JD. And because we expect the retirement after many, many years of service of Marilee Roberts in June, I believe, June 30th, I think it's important that we get this job posted as quickly as possible and that we begin the recruitment and the onboarding process of a new court coordinator. And that's a very short time when you're already looking at April.
Judge, can I say something?
Yes.
I'm kind of really confused of where we're going here. I know in the agenda, somebody put in the agenda for reclassification of that position now, not later, but now. And I don't know who did that. I mean, somebody had to know to put it in the agenda for whatever reason. I don't know if it came from you or somebody else, Julie, or whatever. Where it came from, I don't know. But it was very clear there was a reclassification for that position, for that person. And I understand the judges, when they spoke, that they said that it didn't come through them, they didn't authorize this thing. So I don't know how we went around everybody and got on the agenda for reclassification. That's my question is, how did this all come about?
Yeah.
There was a board of,
who actually
if I may
recommended
comment
it?
on that, Commissioner, there was a Board of Judges meeting on Friday.
Right, I heard.
And I think Judge Canales got wind that there was a Board of Judges meeting and that there was not clear clarification as to whether or not the Board of Judges wanted this, so we copied it over.
Well, evidently they
To
didn't
this
want it
meeting.
because it's what they said on TV. They didn't want it, but it got on the agenda. My question, how did it get in the agenda to begin with?
Yeah, I'll explain that. It's very easy. It was a misunderstanding because what happened is that we needed to make a adjustment potentially to make it JD preferred. And that's all. It was just an opportunity to make a JD preferred. But when you do that, it does change the classification. And so what happened was we decided to ask Dale what that would entail. And when he sent an email to HR, and we have a copy of that email, he made the assumption, which it was an innocent assumption, because even everybody understood that previously, 7 years before, it was JD preferred. That we made that assumption that that was what the Board of Judges would originally like to go back to. Now that we know that they want to discuss whether or not they want to have a lawyer in that position or not, I'll have the opportunity to discuss that with them today in court. So there was nothing really sinister or malicious or concerning. It was just a matter of, hey, we want to make sure that we have a JD opportunity. But that does require it coming to court.
Okay, so really,
And that's-
that classification right now is really dead. I mean, we're not doing it now, right? I mean,
I'm going to go ask, not today, but I'm going to go ask the Board of Judges, if you want a JD preferred here, we do need to change that so that
yeah, if they
when
want, that's what
we.
they want, yeah, sure.
Right, and so that's it. And just so you know, I'm going to be a big advocate of a JD preferred, because, and I'll be talking to them about that. And that was, sometimes you're very lucky and you get an amazing person who has tremendous skill set in the court, and that's always an opportunity. But in this case, to be able to offer a great high-paying salary for another lawyer will help all lawyers. It'll lift all boats eventually. So I think it's a really good opportunity to understand the new scope. For instance, the court coordinator of today handles a tremendous amount of grants through the Indigent Defense grant that we receive, and coordinates quite a bit of new fees. And so there's just a lot of new job scope that didn't exist before that would justify a reclassification.
I agree, but I don't think that a lawyer will want to work with grants. I mean, I think that, I mean,
No, I just mentioned that because it's a new opportunity to have people under your command, so to speak. In other words,
Okay.
you become like a supervisor besides just a coordinator. All I wanted to do was just to share with the court that we're having great dialogue and conversation, and Judge Klein is here because I want her to hear that as the local presiding, that I'll be there with the Board of Judges, and we'll be talking about what they want and what they want to recommend, and then this court will consider it. And that's really all there is. But I do want you to know that we did ask Dale to look for a funding source, and I needed to know how much that was, because the first thing the Board of Judges is going to ask is, what does it pay? What is the funding source? How does that affect us? And all it was quite frankly, a presumption that we were asking on behalf of them. But it is a no harm, no foul. Unfortunately, it set off alarm bells, but once you talk to everybody and you explain the situation, and I was actually on the Bar Association call last night, people are very appreciative of this court, very appreciative of our willingness to address equal pay for equal work and the correct pay for the value of the services received. So I think that they will be here in budget to share with the court what it is that they seek. In the meantime, our job is to get as many job descriptions, accurate as possible. But I don't think this court want to be without a court coordinator. So we have a very short window, and that's what I'll be telling the Board of Judges today. I'm going to urge them to look at the job description, look at the qualifications that they wish, and allow us to post immediately.
you know, and I agree with that, because that's the one that came before us last
Right.
time and wanted that position.
Yes,
To appoint Mary Lee to that position. And twice we gave, there was a raise for Mary Lee, at the request of the Board of Judges, right? So.
I really just
we-
think
we
it was a
comply with this
misunderstanding.
request. We complied with the request that they requested, and we're there because of the judges. That's why the position is there.
Yes, sir.
So, their request is their request, and we try to comply with them
Yeah.
as much as we can, so.
And I want to get a little bit of thanks also to Julie, because I think that, and I'll clarify this with the Board of Judges as well, is that when we asked for the funding source, the auditor said, would you help us write this agenda item? And she said, you know what, I'll just do it. And so really, I think she got caught in the middle. As they say, no good deed goes unpunished, right? All she did was help them articulate what they were asking, and it was meant for a discussion. It really wasn't meant for anything else. But just wanted to update you. I wanted Judge Klein to hear it so that we could clarify the record, and that she knows I'll be participating at the Board of Judges today, and we'll also do the same type of a good discussion and clarification. And whatever they want, I will get it back here through Tyner as an agenda item. It might be next week. That might be too soon. We might see it in April. Fair enough?
Wait, see what in it, this agenda item?
Whatever they want, whatever the resolution is. Whatever the resolution the Board of Judges is, they'll bring it back to us.
I would just ask that the court made a motion to table this until we actually start the formal budget process. So I would prefer that we maintain that, which is what the motion to table was done and passed by this court. And so I think I would just like to make sure it comes back in the normal course of budget. That would be, because that was the motion made and
Well,
passed
the
by
problem
court.
is if they vote for JD preferred, okay, if that's their resolution for JD preferred, when we post it, you'll have to post for the correct classification. I wouldn't box ourselves in. Why don't we just let them see what they're gonna propose? I mean, we can table it, but
I would just ask respectfully, since Judge Klein's here, the court made a motion to table it to please consider it during the budget process. And I would just ask that be recognized by the Board of Judges when you're making those considerations.
I'll let them know that was what you said, and I'll remind you they're judges.
I'm respectfully asking, as I would always ask a judge respectfully, and that's what I'm. you know,
Okay, I hear you. All right, anyway, that's all. I wanted Judge Klein to have that opportunity. I also wanted Judge Klein to hear our,
You gonna say anything?
would you like to? May I? Absolutely. Yes.
Good morning, Commissioners. Judge Canales, thank you for the opportunity to speak and to be here. First of all, Judge Canales, thank you for clarifying the misunderstanding. As you said, I think there were a lot of assumptions made. There was no Board of Judges request to have it done on their behalf. We have already formed committee to start discussing what it is that the Board of Judges is seeking in the replacement for Ms. Mary Lee Roberts. This committee was just formed. We have not had a chance to meet yet. We have a Board of Judges meeting this morning at 11:30. We're looking forward to hearing from Judge Canales. I will make sure that, along with Judge Canales, I will also pass along Commissioner Chesney's request as far as the budget here and as far as placing the position for seeking somebody, and we'll go from there. One of the most important agendas for us this morning is to present the plan on restarting the in-person proceedings, jury trials and non-jury trials, and that will take a lot of cooperation, and I'm basing the protocol that I'm proposing in large part on your plan for safety for the courthouse. That's all I had to say. Thank you. I appreciate you taking up the clarification of this issue today, and I'm open to any questions if you all have.
Thank you so much. I would agree with Commissioner that we've already tabled it. So for B1, Jenny, I don't know if we have to redo anything here or just acknowledge for the court's clerk that it's already been tabled. But if you want to do it again, Commissioner, just for the record, I'm happy to do that. Would you mind?
I would just make the
Renew
same
it.
motion as before to table this to the time in which we would normally consider any budgetary processes.
Okay.
Second.
And second, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'm going to vote no, because I'm going to respect whatever the Board of Judges does, and it could bind us to a reclassification. Thank you. Judge Klein, stick around. Let me advance A2, and that is regular agenda A2, discuss and consider taking any action, approving policies and/or adopting any resolutions authorized by law relating to employees, citizens, or visitors, including orders related to the Orchard Fairgrounds. And it just dovetails perfectly on what Judge Klein said. We are going to get back to jury trials. And so I'll be addressing the Board of Judges as well with regards to some of our proactive measures that we have taken for safety, and they will address their needs as well. And I've left an open door for, as jury trials commence, we're not going to know where those gaps are, and unfortunately, until we get into jury panels and, inside the courtroom. But the good news is that we have dollars to be able to be reimbursed for COVID-19 response, but we think we've done a very good job with plexiglass, with PPE, which we've delivered to all the courtrooms. We've also created clean air with our air ionization, and we'll be making a video where jurors will be able to view all of these items proactively. So I just want you to know that when we talk about this, I think it's important to know we're making it safe so that we can resume the administration of justice again. And I don't know if there's anything, Judge Klein, that we could do for you or the judges, but I think the court is ready to act for safety whenever is needed. One of the things that we need to take up today is it's another resolution, and I'll let Tyner help us here because it expands our last resolution.
And the county attorney helped us
Thank you,
with
Jenny.
this.
Thank you.
Jenny, if you want to go.
At least highlight where we kind of left off and what we have extra.
Okay, this is the same basic order that the court signed. This one will supersede that. We're adding to it the Richard Borchardt Fairgrounds, noting, however, that it's not operated by the county. It's operated by an independent third party, as you see the last whereas, which I think is important for the court. The order contains public buildings up at the top owned by the Nueces County and managed and operated by an independent third party. So they're including indoor facilities at the fairgrounds. That's another change. And then if you go back to page 3, you see that in working with them, we have added number 2, the same up until May 19th to be reevaluated. All people must wear face coverings in common areas. And specifically, we wanted to include the equestrian center. Same thing, eating and drinking.
I'm sorry, is that in our agenda or?
Yes, sir, it is. It's under A2, A2.
Oh, A2. I will skip to A2.
I'm sorry, thank you. 2A2.
2A2, okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And then that led to some renumbering changes, and then that dated today's date to supersede the previous one signed on the, looks like the 10th
Could I,
or 11th.
and I'm sorry, can we get just like, and I hate to ask this, but I mean, can we get a red line of where this started and where this is? I know it's not big, but it's changed 2 or 3 times for good reason, but I would just like to kind of just see side by side, because
So I think that we can get that for you, but the thing is, I think number 2, it's only fairground facilities, I think, that's really changed.
The only change is adding the fairgrounds as an entity that wants to be covered under the mask requirement.
And why isn't it? Why isn't it under the old order? Because it's a county-owned and operated facility?
Release it.
Well,
It said operated, and that's
Operated.
why we needed to change it.
We don't,
The
we didn't,
last
we
one
didn't
said
operate.
only operates,
It was a-
county-operated
yeah.
facilities.
And we have Jason Green here with us as well from the fairgrounds, but that was the distinction, is the operated. We have that third-party operator, so it really wasn't covered under our first. So this is why we added, so your red line is just number 2. It's,
and I have mine that I can tender,
that would be great, too, Commissioner. In other words, no change to our original resolution, only add additions of all of 2 and beyond.
Okay, and was, okay, and I'm sorry, I didn't catch that this was gonna be a new one today. Could I just read this for a little bit and we just move on until the end?
Of course.
Can I just come?
Let's just do that. All I wanted to do is.
It's probably fine, I just wanted, like to
Right,
read it.
and I just want to point out that we don't know what we don't know, and we're using the fairgrounds for so many wonderful things. But I will say the fairgrounds is an opportunity to have voir dire panels, and it is an opportunity to have even jury trials, civil, out there. So we have created that plan as needs arise. And believe it or not, it's quite well supported by members of the bar that I've talked to, just because space is so great. I don't know, Judge Klein, if that, we're gonna let you read it, but would you mind if I call upon, Jason, did you want to add anything, or? The only question I had is, the equestrian center is an outdoor space, and, but you might want to share with the court, you have quite a bit of events scheduled for the equestrian center.
Yeah, we do. Spectra's take on the situation would be whatever the county buildings are doing, the fairgrounds would fall under a county facility. And it's just better, most likely, to include all the facilities there, including the equestrian center, in terms of the mask order. And yeah, we do have probably at least 10 events in the complex coming up in April, of course, and then working around whatever else the county's doing in terms of the vaccinations and et cetera.
And Jason, this is in keeping with what we had done in the past.
Correct, right. We've been following that.
Right.
Correct.
Not a departure from what we've been doing in the past. And again, this comes to us because Spectra is looking for consistency and continuity for their operation. And so
Yeah, and I can add too that we manage other facilities in Texas, and those counties and cities are the ones that are making the ordinances per se. And in Beaumont, Texas, Wichita Falls, Texas, and Kerrville, Texas, they're all continuing the mask order for a certain amount of time, and then they're revisiting it. But all three of those facilities are also going to follow the governor's orders at 100% capacity. But that was decided by that particular county or city, whoever owns the facilities. in there.
Understood.
Dallas Convention Center is doing something a little different. That's a little different animal because the Dallas Convention Center, the Kay Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center is huge. And they're going to be following more of like a 50% capacity. I don't know what events they have booked there, what conventions, but that is on a grand scale. That's a very, very large
Right,
facility.
thousands and thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah, and I believe same for Dallas Fair Park. We actually are managing those two facilities within the last 2 years, I think. So that's a little different, bigger city type thing. But the
Understood.
but I message, hopefully that helps a little bit.
It does, it does.
Thank you.
And again, the issue was just that one word operated. I think we had talked about it at our last meeting. It was just that the word operated really doesn't technically apply, and I think the county attorney felt like because it doesn't apply, we really need to make certain that the order is clear.
Since, I guess I'm just asking because I'm just trying to read it quick, but when you say common areas, I guess if we're going to be specific, there's a lot of outside common areas at the fairgrounds too.
I believe it says indoors only, Commissioner.
Well, it says, under A, it says all people must wear a face covering in common areas, so I would assume that's going to get a little confusing, but I don't know if I'm reading that wrong.
thought I
But again,
saw
I'm doing this
word
real
I
quick.
don't have it in front of me anymore, but there is a specific in bold indoor.
Correct.
And again, I'm reading this fast, so I'm just finding stuff as I can, indoor.
It actually, like I said, it mimics everything that was in place with regards to mask coverings prior.
Right, but most of the county buildings, the fairgrounds is just a little different to me because it's got so many outside areas where most county buildings don't. So if you'll just show me where that is in bold about the indoor, maybe that's okay.
She said she didn't have it, but
Here.
let me see if I can
Page
get it.
2.
Okay.
Okay,
It is 1, courthouse and Nueces County operated facilities, parentheses, indoor, close parentheses.
right. And to me, it's just a small contradiction because I think there's a lot of common area at the fairgrounds that could be interpreted wrong. And, I mean, all I would say is, maybe we put indoor only in there, just to be clear. I mean, because sometimes orders may say something in one place and be a little ambiguous in other places, so I wouldn't think that's a big deal, just to insert the word indoor only, common area, indoor common areas, or something like that. I mean,
Be no problem, probably.
That can be done quickly. What,
I mean, we can do that.
fairground facilities, and then open it up right there, indoor only.
or just put I'm just saying all people must wear a face covering in indoor common areas. Just one word. That would seem to not be a big deal.
Sounds good.
Now, for the definition of indoor, the equestrian center, I believe, is going to will count as far as the indoor definition used by,
Is there a roof over the?
There is, but it's open air.
Right.
it may have open doors.
It
But
does.
as far as, it's, for the purposes of this, it is gonna be an indoor
Gotcha.
thing.
Okay. So would you like to make a motion then to add the word for extra emphasis?
Or, sure. Make a motion to include the word indoor in front of the word common areas of the fairgrounds?
Second.
Okay, I've got a motion and a second, but your motion also includes the adoption otherwise of the
Well,
document.
I'm still reading it. I'm sorry. I'm almost there. I'm on page 3, so I'm getting there. That was just that's just what I
Okay.
got.
It's my understanding that items 3, 4, 5, and 6, except for the superseding language, are all the same as we've had previous. They include the exceptions, they include peace officers, and the posting of this order.
Okay, if someone wants to move forward, I can get through it. Jenny, here you go.
Okay, so,
Give that back to her.
so in that case, we will, I'll accept your motion as stated to
Just add the word.
add the word indoor onto item number 2 in front of the words common areas.
Two.
And I think the second was Commissioner Gonzalez. Is that correct? Okay. Are there any further questions for our county attorney? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Pose same sign. We'll wait for her to make that adjustment, and then we'll circulate it. And Jason, obviously, the posting and the notice of all of these are very important, so we'll make sure that you get a copy. We'll make sure that Connie posts it on our website. And as always, if you have any issues, Jason, don't hesitate to call. So,
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Also, just as a question, I guess, is the court okay with the fairgrounds, I guess, being at 100% capacity with the best social distancing we could do, which would follow the governor's orders, or did they want to be more restrictive?
That's not on.
so that's not on the agenda today, so I can't really, but I appreciate the question.
Okay.
And we've actually had a great robust discussion about whether or not we believe we have authority to do anything but that, right? And so there's a great AG opinion about masks, and so we feel really good about masks. And then there was a big lawsuit just recently where the AG, where Harris County and the Attorney General had this particular discussion. So I just want you to know that because you've raised it, we'll certainly talk about it in a subsequent meeting.
Okay,
Okay.
great. No, thank you so
Thank
much. I
you.
really appreciate, we appreciate the help and the direction.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, have a good day.
Okay. I'll put us back in order. And I've placed for your consideration, once again, G1, Nueces County Board of Coastal Parks Commissioners. I think this makes lucky number 5. And so what I'd like to do is after rereading the statute, I don't know, maybe about 1,001 times, I'd like to offer one name for one place, because I really don't believe there's any guidance or any discussion as to how the appointments come up, just that the county judge shall appoint. So I offer for appointment Ms. Mitra Khan for Ms. Janie Bell position, because she has already agreed to serve on our Bob Hall Committee and is willing to make that transition. So I place that appointment before you, that one appointment, Ms. Mitra Khan, who has an engineering degree and is very well qualified and suited for service. And so I make that motion and ask for a second. Thank you. And all those in favor
Discussion?
signify. Yes?
Discussion? Judge, to my knowledge, Ms. Bell has not withdrawn her application. She has continued to serve on the board. She has not withdrawn her application. She did reapply. And so, again, my same response to the record is, I think Ms. Khan would be great, but I do not have any verification from Ms. Bell that she wants off the board. In fact, the letter in the packet says, I would like to be resubmitted and would like to stay on the board. So
Okay.
I don't have any independent verification that she's agreed to go off the board. So
okay.
just-
I
so
appreciate-
for the record, well, hold on, let me just finish.
Right.
For the record, same objection is that I think those that you are proposing are outstanding individuals, but I also think those that are serving are outstanding individuals and shouldn't be replaced when they've done such a great job and served this community well. So until Ms. Bell sends the court some verification, I can't support that.
Okay, I appreciate your comments, and because we're on video, I understand that those are noted for the record. And once again, I place for appointment only one, just one appointment, Ms. Mitra Khan. And the only reason I mention the place is for the purposes of Tyner, who keeps accurate record of which appointment goes in which place. And so we have a motion and a second, and we've had discussion, and all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.
No. No.
Okay,
Judge, I would, since we're on this.
thank you.
Since we're on this issue, Judge, have we gotten the bonds signed for the board that were supposed to be signed about a month ago or so?
Okay, so we'll move that, since that's not an agenda item.
It's
We can
coastal.
talk about that in executive session. It is a legal question and
No.
issue.
No, it really isn't.
And-
It's a coastal parks.
No, it
board.
says board appointments,
Okay,
and
let me just
so,
state my position, and then you can object.
okay, so I'll refer you to the county attorney after this meeting to discuss that, but
It's a coastal parks board bond.
it says
that-
board appointments.
That you
So-
indicated during the same agenda item that I
Right.
didn't need to make a motion, that you were going to sign the bond. That's been on your desk now for quite a while.
Right.
The bond needs to be signed. It's a group bond. It doesn't name people. It doesn't have specific names. But it is a bond in place that we need to have that we're not in compliance with. So
Right.
I would make a motion that the bonds be signed, and if the judge
Okay.
won't sign them, that
I
that the county
appreciate.
attorney would sign them.
I
That's my
appreciate all of
motion.
what you
That's my
said.
motion.
Everything you said is inaccurate. Number one, it's not a group bond. Number two, individuals are bonded. Number three, the bond is secured and in place, and we are in compliance. And that's been ascertained by Higginbotham. So everything you just said sounds like you have no knowledge of the facts, but those are the facts.
What bond
and-
is in place?
And
What
those
bond
are the
is in
facts,
place?
and the invoice has been sent to be paid. So
Bond is in
everything
place.
you said is
What, I've
inaccurate.
asked Tyner for a month if the
Yeah.
bond has been signed.
Well,
and I
why don't you
constantly
talk,
gotta know.
again, I need to raise a
The
point of
bond been
order.
signed.
I appreciate
it's a
all the
discussion.
discussion.
Have
I'm
the
going to
bond
refer
been
you to the county attorney who can give you the facts because you're not
Okay, go
informed
ahead,
of the
Jenny.
facts.
Give me the facts.
Well, wait a second, I have a point of order. Number one, there are legal issues that are in question here.
Meaning
We're
you don't
hap-
want to have this discussion in
No, I'm
public.
happy to have it. There are
Let's
legal
have it.
questions.
There's no legal question about
Yes,
a
there
bond.
are.
Then
There
I would
are
make a motion that
ineligible
I
people.
would make a motion that we waive any privilege.
Your
on this and
motion is
have
not
the
proper.
discussion. Again, are you denying me again the opportunity to make a
No.
motion in
I
court?
second the motion for.
Okay.
Motion has been made and seconded for discussion. It's, it's a valid motion, it's been made, it's pertaining to an item that you put on the agenda, that we've had the same
No,
discussion.
the item that's on the
We've had the
agenda
same
is board
discussion.
appointments.
We've had the same discussion on this item every time you put it on.
Right, I've
You just
just-
don't want to have it in public, I
No, I'm
understand
happy
that.
to.
Then
The
let's do it.
problem is you just keep spitting out lies and you keep
And I'm asking
preventing
the
a
county attorney-
coastal.
Judge?
Excuse me, sir.
the judge said there was
Excuse
bonds
me.
for- that's
They're
what-
already done,
that's what she
okay?
said
They're
already.
already done.
That's all that, let me see the
They're
bond.
already done.
Tyner told me just this week they weren't done, so if
Maybe
something's
they're
been
not
done-
paid yet.
No, that's not what I asked, I said, are they signed, and
Well,
Tyner
maybe
told me they
Tyner's
weren't
not,
signed.
not,
I don't handle those bonds, Commissioner. Coastal Parks has always done that.
Did you not respond to me that the bonds had not been signed, that you'd put them on a folder for the judge to sign? Yes or no?
That's correct.
First of all, I have
you
not
never told me
received
to-
I've not received any bonds. I received one bond application, which I turned over to the county attorney, and I explained to her that Ms. the broker from Higginbotham, again, all of these are legal issues that you need to have a legal discussion with, which is not proper in this, but since you are intent on being
Just wanna know
proved
if the
how
bonds are
ill-informed you are, I'm happy to share with you that the bonds are for individuals, and they assume eligibility. And because we have a deck action on file, and because eligibility has not been discovered for two of the people, you cannot group bond people who are potentially ineligible.
And how do we have a deck
Higginbotham
action
agrees.
on file? Nobody, this court's not
Oh,
approved the
weird.
decks.
Well, then if you would actually wait till the legal discussion that's actually posted properly, you would find out. But since you're interested in grandstanding and having this,
I'm
it's
interested
just
in the
very
public
fascinating to
knowing.
me
I'm
that you're
in the
interested.
public knowing this.
No, what I'm interested in the public knowing is how you're thwarting coastal parks from seating a good board. That's what you've done now 5 times. But if you want to
Actually-
keep doing that, go
I'll let
right
you
on
finish.
ahead. The public will hold you accountable for
Actually, Judge,
not putting
the-
a coastal parks
The
board on.
majority of this board has spoken repeatedly that we do not
The
support
majority of this board has
sway.
violated Open Meetings
No,
Act
they
with the
haven't, and
conspiracy
and
that
if
you have thwarted
And if you
here.
have proof of that, please show it, because believe me.
I think that's what we go to
don't
court
talk
for.
about it. Great.
We'll be
Let's
happy
it.
to do
And
so.
Judge, if that's what you're gonna open, we'll bring in a lot of times where you've talked to more members of this board.
No, sir.
Than one.
No, sir.
Because that is an accusation that you are making that is inaccurate.
I have a witness.
You have a witness. Okay, good. I wait to hear that one. You have a witness. Great.
At any
Look forward
rate,
to it. I have plenty of
Anyway,
witnesses
in
too. Judge.
discussion, so I hear the judge saying that the bonds have been done?
yes,
That they've been signed?
they've been renewed.
They've been renewed but not signed?
They don't need signature, they're renewed.
Been
And they
renewed?
need to be paid.
Okay.
And it's not my department, the invoice, this discussion happened weeks ago. And again, it's not a group bond, it's an individual bond for people who are eligible, okay? And that is what is proper, and that is what needs to occur. And I informed the county attorney of that, and that is what has
Yeah,
occurred.
Would they all be eligible until removed or until?
No, sir, they're eligible when the court decides, when you have a issue that needs to be decided by the court, that potential eligibility needs to be decided before you can bond, because what a bonding company cares about is liability. And they're not gonna bond somebody that has the potential to not be eligible. You see, they assume,
I would think that if the bond is issued, Judge, that they would be eligible until removed from office.
well,
But no,
that's what's great about the law, is that we get to go to court and find out who's eligible and who's not, and if they are, I have no problem with it.
So
But if they're
can-
not, they're not.
I have a question. So only certain boards or committees that we have, commissions that we appoint are bonded. Is that correct, Jenny? Not, I mean, like the historical commission, do they require a bond?
Every commission, as my understanding is, it's gonna say in the code, in the local government code, or wherever it's created, whether or not they need to be bonded. So I don't know if that's everyone across the board, but I know it would be specified where they're created.
Statutorily.
So we don't know the answer right now. We don't, I mean.
To
we
which
don't-
question?
To my question.
Which
As far
is,
as does
can you-
every board that we appoint.
Right.
Every commission, committee, do they or do they not require a bond?
I do not know that without looking.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, so beyond that question, why is a bond required? Why would a bond be required for some and maybe not others?
If a board is going to handle any type of funds or any type of flow-through of money, then the bond is going to protect the people from mishandling of those funds.
So it's public funds.
Yes.
Public, it comes from state or federal government.
Or funds that might come in
Sure.
from the public directly.
Okay. So then it would be safe to say that some of the boards or committees or commissions that don't deal with funding might not have that.
It could be,
Could
it
be.
could be. I do not know.
Okay. I'm just curious, because, I mean, it's, I'm wondering, obviously, this is an exception, this is a little bit more unique situation, so that's why we have that. But I was just curious on other committees that we have, other appointments that we have, if that's required or not. Hospital district, does anybody know? I'm assuming, right?
Yes, in the statute, it clearly delineates who needs to be bonded and also whether or not you have the authority to bond, as in like bonding for municipal bonds. So because, for example, coastal parks can actually bond, they need to have individual bonding. There's liability, right, for that.
So I mean, it's kind of loosely tied to this, but also just a question as we deal with all other kinds of appointments. Like I said, I understand this one's unique and it's for different reasons, because the judge nominates and then the entire court
Actually,
votes on.
not nominate. That's a good point. I don't nominate. If I could nominate, there would be a process here. I appoint.
You would present a slate.
No, sir, that's not what the law says. I appoint. It says,
You appoint with court's approval.
that's correct. But that's different than nominate,
Sure it is.
and it's different, and we have presumed that there was the ability to bring it individually or by a slate. We chose to bring a slate because that's how it's been done in the past, but when you go back to the bill analysis and you look, there's no guidance, no direction, so I can appoint one at a time.
Judge, there was
So, again,
there was just a form on these bonds that I saw that had an application for a group bond. Is there a form that you have, Tyner, that I could look at, what I was referring to, if there's more bonds that I'm
Right.
not aware of? That's the one that I believe the county judge has to sign for application and hasn't been signed.
Well,
If
my
that's not
lawyer,
right-
my lawyer is, filed a deck action, and so there are two people that are potentially ineligible. When we had that discussion with the bonding company, they were not made aware of that, and they are not comfortable with bonding people who are potentially ineligible,
But you
because
could-
it assumes that they are eligible when you present them. That's what Commissioners Court is supposed to do, is make certain that you are putting qualified, eligible people. The word eligible has a legal significance, and they are ineligible. So, just so you know, the bonds are available for people who are eligible. And therefore, 5 of the 7 are eligible, and that process has gone forth.
So you've bonded the 5 that are eligible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what I've asked for. If
No,
someone-
sir, that's not what you asked for.
I've asked if the
No,
bonds
sir.
were- I've asked if
No,
the
sir.
bonds, Judge, can I finish a sentence once in life without you interrupting me?
Well, I guess when you
asked- I
decide
will
to treat women with
Oh,
respect.
here we go again, yeah. there we
No,
go.
it's not here we go
always
again.
name-calling
It's
and
your
Start
respect.
name calling, that's what you do.
No,
when you
sir,
can't win an
I'm pointing
argument, you
out how
call names. Okay.
disrespectful you've been
I
through this
have asked
process.
if this form has been signed, I've sent that to everyone. It has not been signed still. I have asked if anything has been signed. No one has told me anything's been signed. That's what I've asked for. If you're telling me that the other 5 have been bonded, that's an answer to the
We
question.
said that when we opened up this argument.
Okay, can someone show me that? That's all I want, that's all I've asked for.
No, I cannot show you that. You'll have to wait for the invoice to be paid. When the invoice is paid, I'm certain that they will send you proof of it. I do not have it, and you can refer to the county attorney, which I said in the beginning would be the proper point. But there is no agenda item with regards to bonds, none whatsoever. We have completely come out of order to satisfy your hunger and thirst
Here
for
it is.
discussing coastal parks bond, when it's you that's keeping the coastal parks board from being established.
Judge, I know that when you don't win an argument, you don't like it and you get mad and you
Well,
start
you are like-
and you start name calling. I'm not
I'm not name calling.
going to sink to that.
Misogyny
except
is not a name
there you-
calling.
that's
It's a-
exactly what that
it's a
is.
fact.
That's exactly what it is. You like to keep throwing it out there.
No.
I could use the word bully for you, and that's what happens. You like to bully and
No.
and do things to people and be mean.
No,
and
we're just trying to
belittle
follow the
them and-
law around here.
and no, but
We'll
you
move
have to
on,
always
sir.
bring it in.
I'm gonna
I
call us
just have
into
one-
order.
When
is a
Judge,
person-
I'm gonna call us
I
into
have one
order.
question.
When is a
Commissioner
Yes,
person-
sir, I'm
not
gonna
sure
yield to
about-
Commissioner Gonzalez, sir.
Commissioner Martin made a good point, and I haven't even thought about that, about when you deal with monies, I guess, the Port of Corpus Christi, they deal with monies, the hospital district. So can we find out whether those are bonded or not?
Yes, sir, they are. Once again, all you have to do is look to the statute. The statute, when you create a board that's statutory, it's different than when you create anything else. So if there's a statute, all you have to do is find the statute. Tyner's office can do this. And the statute requires the bond or not.
Okay, thank you. Can you have a copy of that, Tanya, please?
And just for the record, the Port of Corpus Christi are bonded.
When is a person considered not qualified to be bonded, if they're still sitting on the board?
When they are deemed to have been ineligible because of a matter of law or a matter of the statute. If the statute has, for example, an eligibility requirement, and you don't meet that, the court can decide that they don't meet that. Or when the court does not have that ability to decide, because there's a fact issue, you go to the district courts in order to do that, and that's what we've done. So we're waiting for that eligibility, and we will wait probably until that eligibility will have to be decided by the courts.
So that's where we're going, district courts.
No, that's where we are. We're currently pending in the district courts. That's what happens when we can't find an answer. We
Come to
have
an
to go
agreement,
get an
yeah.
answer.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I've always heard that Commissioners Court has either yes or no.
I understand that's what you've heard, but the way the law works is that when there's a reason to declare the rights of the parties, that's what a declaratory action is, you go to district court. So we do not determine the law. We're not the judicial branch of government. We're a different branch of government.
All right, thank you. I just never heard that, we've gone to district court to
Right.
work something out.
Historically, many, many, many times. won't be the first, and we certainly won't be the last.
Alrighty.
And by the way, we don't go, I go, because I'm representing, it's the vacancy that, that we are, questioning.
I was talking we as a.
No, I know, I just wanted to make you sure you understood.
No, I
You
understand.
didn't file,
I
I
understand.
filed.
I understand.
And that is a result of the statute as well, because only I have the authority to appoint.
I understand that.
So I just wanted to make sure.
I understand. Thank you.
Okay. And so, once again, we do not have a board, and Ms. Khan's resume is rejected over somebody who's already agreed not to serve.
That's not a
Okay,
correct assessment.
so
I
it is,
disagree with
it is
that.
accurate.
If Ms.
2A1.
If Ms. Bell verifies that, Judge, I would gladly support Ms. Khan.
Okay,
If
well,
Ms. Bell verifies
As an
that.
officer of the court,
If
I
Ms.
have asked her, and she has agreed to serve on the Bob Hall Committee, and I'm letting you know that that is what is factually true. And
And that is a
you-
different interpretation, and if Ms.
a
Bell will
different
independently.
interpretation?
That is not what she's told me, and if she indicates differently, that she is okay and she wants to not go on the board, then I would gladly support Ms.
Probably
Khan.
you should pull her letter from the.
Yeah, if she wants to, if she would send a letter saying she doesn't want to be on, I would support your nominee. Just like if anybody else, Judge, if any of those other ones were to leave
Well, and that's
the
nice,
board
except for
voluntarily,
that
I
the
would
way the
glad-
process works
I-
is that the county judge shall appoint. So even if everybody in the state wanted to apply for this position, the fact that they want to serve is not the same as the judge appointing who shall serve. So.
With approval of the court, you are
With
correct.
the approval of the court. So you
And
don't
what
get to nominate.
I didn't nominate. I said I would support your nomination if Ms. Bell
Anyway,
were to
the
say.
whole world knows what's going on here between Hernandez, Gonzalez, and Chesney with regards to this. It's pretty evident. So anyway, we'll move on to why we
Going
really
on is we
decided
don't
to
like how
come
you
to
bully
today.
us, Judge, that's what's going on.
Well, it's very, very clear to the audience, and you will have to answer for that
Yes, it is,
eventually.
Judge, it is, no doubt about that.
We already voted. They voted against Mitra Khan once again. You can note that.
He had a motion, he had a second,
No, there was,
about the bonds.
yeah, we're not doing that. Thank
And-
you,
and the-
Kara.
And for the record, the judge is not recognizing my motion.
That's right, I'm not recognizing a motion that has no germanity to park board appointments at all, zero, and it's not been
It's
posted
park
or
board
listed, and
bonds.
already it's moot, because we've already told you that they're bonded. For heaven's sakes, I mean, where is there some rule of law here?
What was the motion?
It's been so long now, you'd have to rewrite it. I'd have to, I think it
He
was
wants me to sign a group bond that's invalid and not, I will not sign an invalid,
Is this
illegal
form.
bond.
This is this form that was
Right.
presented to.
I
the
will
court.
not sign an illegal bond.
It's not illegal.
It is illegal. It is illegal, sir,
illegal
because they are
according-
ineligible.
According
Okay,
to the
so-
Judge Canales law, it's not, she thinks it is, but the court has not ruled yet, and so we don't know that it's illegal. And so all I was trying to
Boy.
get was this signed that she said she would sign 3 weeks ago, was this form right here. And if there are other bonds in place, then I just would like to see those, that's all.
So the motion is to sign the bond?
This form,
Is
this
to sign
application.
the form.
Right.
It was seconded. It might need to go to a vote.
You can not vote on an item that is not posted. And here's the thing, this is an application, let me have that piece of paper. I'm gonna show you what you want them to vote on. It's an application that is not valid. It's a group application that you and I already discussed, is not valid, that this won't even mean anything to the Higginbotham because they will not bond this way. Because they are now on notice from a deck action that a group bond cannot satisfy the legitimate and legal bonding needs of this board. 5 of the 7 are going to be bonded by name, and the 2 that are in controversy will be decided by a court. This is an application. They already have a bond. You don't even need an application.
All I've asked
All
is
you
to
needed
see-
was a renewal.
And all I've
Well,
asked is to see proof
on
of
the-
that.
Yeah, and
because-
we've already told you, be patient. We'll call Higginbotham and we'll get you your proof. We'll get you your proof.
That's all I've asked for.
No, that's not what you've done. But you know what? You seem to enjoy quite frankly.
I'm just not going to be bullied
Miss-
into backing off a
Nobody's
position that I
bullying
believe
you.
in.
That's what men say when they disagree with women.
Go.
This is a classic,
There you go.
classic men. You know, there's an owl camera in here, Miss Sands. I don't care. Okay, well, that's good, because you're not a part of this forum. No, you're not. You're not a part of this forum.
Judge, she did,
Your faces and your expressions are really wonderful. Yeah. Right, then you should have decorum, ma'am. You're decorum. You're not a part of this. You're not a part of this.
You feel that way?
You're not a part
But
of this
there was a
discussion.
motion
You're
and
not a part of this
second.
discussion.
I'm asking for,
No, you're trying to insert yourself
ma'am, I'm
in
not.
law.
I'm
You're trying to
sorry.
insert yourself.
Okay, ma'am, I'm not gonna argue with you,
Then
but,
don't.
okay. Anyways,
Thank
there's a
you.
motion and a second.
Don't.
How do we do, Miss County Attorney? They need a vote.
there's a motion. I would be happy to withhold my motion until someone can show me what it is, because every time we leave, I can't get any response on anything regarding bonds and if they're going to be signed. Now someone's telling me there's a bond. I just would like to see that that's actually been done, because it's been told to me before by the judge it was going to get done, and it didn't, and I don't know anything.
You are
about it.
lying, sir.
No, I'm not, Judge.
Yes, you are.
You can go back and watch the video.
You're
I can-
lying.
I can look at the deck.
The
I don't
minute
know what a
that we
deck action
discussed the
is.
bond, I spoke to the bond counsel, I spoke to the county attorney, and I sent you an email that referred you to the county attorney so she could advise you of what the status was. And yet you continue to lie to this court.
Please send me
It's
that email
appalling.
that you sent me that said to
I
refer
did.
to
I
the
sent
county
it.
attorney. When? Just
I sent
5
it.
minutes
It
ago?
got forwarded to you. At any rate, you have made just really a circus of what should be an absolute non-issue. But again, it's Coastal Park's loss to not be able to seat a full board. And it's quite frankly, not fitting for this court to continue on and on. The bond application is not an appropriate way to bond individuals, and it's already been bonded. So I will take a recess and get you what you need, if that's the case. You
But
can
if
get,
if you want to go into executive session now, while we're recessing, to talk about the other things that you
no,
want to
we
talk
have
about.
capital improvement plan just
What you just
right
said you were
now.
going to take a recess, I was just thinking.
That's
instead
like
of-
a 5-minute recess.
Oh.
Judge, I don't have a problem if Jeannie Bell wants to withdraw her letter.
I'm the
I mean,
same
I don't have
way.
a problem,
I said all
you know,
along.
but as long as the letter's there, I mean, she wants to be, but, you keep
I
saying-
understand,
You know what I'm saying?
I understand,
If she withdraws
Commissioner.
it, I mean, I'd be
right.
glad
But the
to.
problem is that if Ms. Bell wants to serve, and I want to appoint somebody else, like Ms. Mitra Khan, because Ms. Bell has been there for 17 years, and I find that her 17 years is an amazing record of service, but it's ineligible per the statute. It's just that nobody read the statute, and we need
So
to
Ms.
make
Bell's
sure.
ineligible, you say?
Ms. Bell could be ineligible. It could be ineligible.
Well, she's ineligible, then I wouldn't vote for her. I mean,
Well, of course, and that's all we're saying, sir. All we're saying is let the courts decide, and meanwhile, when there's a controversy, you don't go bond somebody. And the reason you don't do that is because there's liability. That's what the whole bond is
yeah,
for.
but I understand.
And so all I'm saying is, let's bond the 5. And Mr. Chesney, the argument here is that he
I'm
tries
agreeing with you.
to make something of it, like I haven't done something correct, when I have done it from the minute we finished it. But it is not my place to tell him the law, except for somehow we always have to get somebody to interpret it here. Because there is a complete abandonment of law and rules and order. It's just, and so, I don't think this is funny. I think it's a terrible display of showmanship, to be honest with you.
Judge, I've said all along, and I'll repeat, if any of those people withdraw.
Are you
their-
going to withdraw your motion so we can get you the bonds?
I withdraw my second.
for the
You
moment,
withdraw the
yes.
second?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Then there is no motion on the floor, Ms. Sands, and we will continue. Give us just a second, Kyle. I'm going to sign a few items here. We do you a great disservice, sir, in coming at this moment, and therefore, what we're going to do is, let me just take a quick look here, so we can make sure we're on A1, and then, You know what, Court, let's do items number 4 and number 5. It will really help us in focusing on the capital improvement plan. The first one is an approval of amendment number 1, extensions to communication site license agreement with Texas Parks and Wildlife. It really is just the placement of communications equipment by the courthouse. Jenny, I did not see anything out of order here. This amendment looks proper, and,
Yeah, Judge, it's a 3-month extension to allow us time
Okay.
to do a better
is there
contract.
a motion?
So moved.
Okay, and a second? Okay, motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and then item number 5 is the outdoor burning prohibition. And this is because it is severely dry, very, very dry.
Yes, Judge. Jose, our fire marshal, had a doctor's appointment, couldn't be here.
Right.
He asked me to cover this item. As you know, things are dry and dying due to the freeze, and things are dry, and we're at 488 on the
Yeah.
drought index. We're recommending approval of this outdoor burn prohibition.
Okay, I've got a motion and a second, please.
Second.
A second from Hernandez. All those in.
Questions? I'm sorry,
Yes,
Judge.
of course.
I don't want to prolong, this should be an easy vote,
Oh,
but.
go ahead.
Tyner, it seems by God's grace, good fortune, however you want to look at it, we always get rain after we make these declarations. The last few that
Yeah.
we've made over the last 2 years or so, we always get something that pushes in the safe zone. Are we required to rescind after we pass that number, or can we continue even though we're technically above the threshold of the drought?
You know, in my experience, it's fascinating that the law actually provides that drought conditions exist upon the recommendation or determination of the Texas Forest Service. Well, the Forest Service will not tell a county what to do. It's just not their policy. And as a matter of fact, A&M actually runs the drought index for them. And so historically, whenever we get in the 400s, we recommend to the court as we approach 500 to implement the outdoor burn prohibition. Now, if we get a rain and the order actually reads that the order lasts 90 days or until drought conditions no longer exist. In the past, what we've done, if we've gotten a good rain, and you're right, Commissioner, the last couple of times we did it, we got a good rain, and we just make a judgment call, and you know, they publish the drought index, and if we're, you know, below 300 or in the 200s, we just get an email out that says drought conditions no longer exist, so the order's not good anymore.
I was just wondering if, we can continue even though maybe if we do hopefully get back away, further away from drought, but still kind of keep that practice. I mean, I just think it's something as simple that we can vote on, but it's an issue that's ongoing. We're in a severe drought, in the direction of a drought. We've been like that for years. I was at Lake Corpus Christi this weekend, and I was horrified. You see the numbers listed on the news, on the weather, every week or so, and to see it in person at a pier that normally the water is up to, and I was standing below it, and there was still another 3 feet above me clearance from where I was on dry land compared to the pier level. So, we're just going in a horribly wrong situation. And so that's what I was just saying. I was just wondering if, can we continue this beyond? Hopefully we do get some rain soon and it gets us into better shape. But I still think that we're, we may not have issues that necessarily would cause a drought situation, right? The grass and everything could be, renourished and revitalized with the rain. But I just worry that, is it something that we can just keep in place longer so that people are kind of more aware of that, to practice that? Maybe it's a Jose question. Maybe he can look at it, as our fire marshal and maybe come back with some ideas. But I just think it would be a practice that maybe we can keep a little bit longer rather than just, okay, we got a good rain, we're in the clear, and then a few months later, we're back at it again, so.
And Commissioner, we'll calendar this before the expiration of 90 days to make sure that the order doesn't lapse if we stay dry.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. There was actually a terrible brush fire near Agua Dulce last weekend. And the expectation from emergency management is, and I don't know if Melissa, she was in the courtroom a little while ago, but I do want you all to please repost and retweet our emergency management levels, because I think we're at what we call our high risk. So for the weekend, it's very nerve-wracking.
It's raining right now, so it'll help.
Right, but unfortunately, it's a cumulative effect of, a decade-long drought. And that doesn't get overcome quickly. So as quickly as the rain disappears, we're right back to where we are, which is why this court needs to consider making water a priority. And we should consider a resolution demanding that we seek alternative water sources.
I did just get a text, that someone said it's raining somewhere in Nueces County right now.
Right.
So maybe we ought to put these in place every
That's what I
once in a
say,
while.
every,
Right.
Just to get,
every
Right.
last few times we've done it, we've always gotten something up.
to beat the
Right.
drought.
Hopefully, I don't know.
Okay, well, that's a good discussion, and so I think, Tyner, you've got your directives there. And all those, we've got the motion in the second, and all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Post same sign. Okay, that actually clears what I would call the regular agenda, but I'm gonna do a double check, and leaves the one item that actually precipitated this particular meeting. Did I miss one? 3? Which one?
Right before,
Judge, would there be,
Hold on one second.
Sorry, my bad.
Jenny was gonna tell me something. 2A3, go back to 2A3. Golly, good point, good catch. Okay, Kyle, hang on. We've got one more. It's another resolution regarding, it's kind of funny, we didn't put that with the other resolution, Tyner.
Not a resolution, it's, we
it's just
didn't
the
have a bill
supporting.
number, but we just need to know the court's sentiment on those two bills, because we've been asked, and we didn't set it up for a resolution. We do have a bill number on the term limits, which is the uniform term
Okay.
limits.
Okay. It was
Since-
just part of
since
our
we posted-
agenda?
Yes.
It was part of, we voted on our legislative agenda, we just didn't
Right.
do the actual bill, is that correct?
That's correct.
And we have a number?
We have a number now,
you-
but we just,
You didn't have it when you
we
posted?
just want to affirm, Guy, and I can't think of the bill number, I think it's 781, we got it after we posted.
Okay,
But it's part of our legislative agenda, we were
Got it.
specifically asked, and we just want to know if the court is still
it.
supportive of term limits.
okay, so we'll go,
And it's, by the way, it's no more than 12 years.
no more than 12, so
Mm-hmm.
it's just the way our legislative agenda had it?
Right,
Okay, and you'll get us the bill number?
I'll get you the bill number.
Okay, so it's 2 items, Commissioner, we have to take one at a time. So is there a motion to support, again, not?
Term limits.
Term limits, as we voted for in our legislative agenda for no more than 12 years?
so moved.
Okay,
Second.
is there a staggered issue there or not?
They do have language staggering
Good,
in the bill.
Grandfather clause, or how does that work? If for people that are already serving on a board that maybe already have put in so many
Yeah.
years?
There's a line in the bill that I saw that authorizes them to continue
Fill out the
to stay
fill
in
their-
that one term if
Yeah.
it's unexpired.
that's correct.
It's not like they just get cut off. So
Yeah.
let's say that they've served 10 years, and then they have a 3-year term or something like that.
And that actually happened,
They do get to serve to the end of their term.
yeah.
That happened in the port.
It
In the
happened,
port,
yeah,
and-
with Mr. Bauer.
And the language is there, Commissioner, that it allows that, but they
Right.
can't come back and reapply again.
Okay.
And then,
All the-
and so did y'all vote? Did they vote?
No, you
Oh,
were just
okay.
answering our questions. There's a motion, I'll second. All those in, oh, he already did it? All right. I didn't hear him, sorry. Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And Senator Hinojosa is carrying this for us.
That's correct. No, I believe it's Representative
Just one.
Herrero. Yeah,
Representative Herrero?
yes.
Okay, but who's our companion in the Senate?
it's going to be Senator
Hinojosa,
Hinojosa.
that's what I thought.
He did it last year, so.
Yeah, that's just item one. Okay, item two is relating to the composition of the Port Commission of the Port of Corpus Christi, Authority of Nueces County, HB 4137. I do want to, in the effort of transparency and gratitude, thank Senator Judith Saffarini for having the courtesy to call me before she filed this bill. I also want to note for the record that Representative Lozano did not. And he specifically stated that he would not file this bill, but apparently he changed his mind. I also want to state that, that this bill specifically targets Nueces County and specifically targets Catherine Tobin Hilliard, our exemplary port commissioner. It is an affront to women. It is an affront to Hispanics. She is the only serving Hispanic and female, and everybody should be ashamed in San Patricio for targeting this one particular commissioner. And that is exactly what this bill had done. That's exactly what it does. It targets our particular commission, our county, when we were the founding county of Navigation District Number 1. And all women should be appalled at this. And so I ask that you
Can I ask a question?
oppose this bill, HB 4137.
Judge, I put this one in executive session, or an executive session for the agenda, so.
It is in there to consult,
I
and
was just telling
so,
her, so is there a way that, I'm sorry, could we go into executive session to discuss, I would like to have some discussions about that with our attorney, because I've got some legal questions on that.
You mean we don't want to talk about it in the public, to let the public know how we feel about it?
It's a legal strategy, I mean, if you want
The
to,
legal
but
strategy is to oppose it. I have no problems discussing the legal piece
I
of
have no
it.
desire to support anything that reduces our things, I just wanted to talk about an executive
Okay.
session. So to be clear, I do
Well, then
not
I
in
guess
any
we'll
way-
come out of executive session and vote against. You're not prepared to vote on the motion? You need some legal clarity?
That's all I'm asking, so I
Okay.
just have some ideas
All
and
right,
thoughts that I
well,
wanted
then
to.
we'll hold on it so that you can get the legal clarity of how they want to take one port commission seat away from Nueces County
which
and
I don't
specifically target
which I
Catherine
don't
Tobin
support.
Hilliard.
But can I ask, well, how did, I didn't,
You didn't read it that way?
no, I'm asking you how you think that it's just
Targeting?
targeting her.
It does. It targets her position, only her position. So she's filling the position that they're targeting.
Okay,
Is
well,
there like a district or something?
yeah, I don't know how that is.
They
but-
named the one that comes up next,
Right.
intentionally,
Oh, I see.
maliciously, and purposely.
Okay, that's what I didn't understand.
I didn't
That's,
see that bill. I mean,
so I just wanted to.
Yeah, well-
I oppose taking away any port commission seats.
I do too.
But I just wanted to have a
We wanna give
conversation
anything
about
up.
an additional
Yeah.
thing to talk about.
Well, only the county, I just want to say, yes, we'll do this in executive session, we'll come back on the record. But only the county, in the 95-year history of the Port of Corpus Christi, has ever appointed women. The city of Corpus Christi has never done it. Never done it. And the county has done it, and we have chaired that position with Yolanda Olivares. We have sent Marian Luna Brim. We have sent myself as third, and then number 4 was Catherine Tobin Hilliard. And we have provided the leadership and the diversity, and we have cracked this glass ceiling on the good old boy system. And San Patricio wants to bring it back.
Judge, I
And it
think
is appalling.
the really sad part about it is, and it was before, I didn't have anything to do with it, I wasn't here, so I'm not trying to take credit for something, but we used to have 4 seats.
That's
and-
right.
And this county graciously gave up one of those seats to San Patricio County. And so what's disappointing to me is that, and they left the city out of this because I guess they don't want the city, lobbyists fighting this too. And it's really disappointing that they came after Nueces County to reduce one since we've already given them one. I mean, I think that's another point to add to your.
Well,
your
the really,
ammunition.
yes, the ammunition is that by population, which is how our democracy runs, representation is based upon population. And we outpopulate them 6 to 1.
And let me say, you know what, I can still do an executive session what I need to do. I'm okay to vote on this now because I don't support this. And so I'm okay to vote on this, but I would still like to go into executive session to talk some more about it, if that's okay. So if you want to vote on it now, I mean, I certainly don't support what they're doing.
And
Just
I
have some other-
appreciate that, and we can still talk about it. But I want the public to know that when it comes to diversity and leadership qualifications, There is no better servant than Catherine Tobin Hilliard.
And Judge, I'm proud of the fact that this court, and I voted for your
bet.
reappointment myself, and I'm proud of the fact that this court did,
We're the only ones.
right, that has had that diversity.
San Pat has done it once with Judy Holly. But the city of Corpus Christi has never done it in their 95-year history. And I guess we'll have to get to, 100 years
And were
before
you
they
appointed-
figure
I
it
can't
out.
remember, you were appointed and then reappointed twice?
That's correct.
So I'm proud to have cast my vote twice for you, Judge, to appoint you to that commission, and I'm proud to be a part of the Commissioners Court who is in Nueces County, who have appointed women.
And
I
you
think
know
that's great.
this, that when you take an oath, it's the same oath as port commissioners you take and I take and everybody takes, and we take an oath to defend the laws, the Constitution of the United States and of this state, and we take an oath to represent the best interest of the port. We don't say, I'm gonna not represent San Patricio, or not represent Nueces, or not represent the cities. We take the best interest of the port. And this is really this is a sad day for our region, because we have worked together in times of crisis, and they have put $1 million in lobbyists against us on this. So for
Well,
those
I
of you
think-
that hate to see that money rules, that's what they're doing.
And I hate to see that they're always targeting Nueces County to give up one, but not the
Always.
city. And I think if it affects us, it affects the city, because we're all in the same boat, But, I mean, nobody wants to give up one. I know they probably won't either, and we sure don't.
And I'm gonna ask that the city oppose this formally as well, because the silence of our friends that seems so painful to me. And we need to oppose this vigorously. You need to explain to your constituencies that Nueces County bonds and taxpayers built that port, helped dredge that port, build Naval Station Ingleside, build those docks. Time and time again, we provide services.
Dredging,
Those are our submerged lands.
dredging.
I mean, everything in the water, this is an outrage, and they did so without one discussion, one email, one text, absolutely no outreach at all to this county judge's office or to any of you, and then they decide to target the one female's position. How,
Shame on them.
shame. But it's okay, because you know what? Women vote. On that, I bet Ms. Sands and I agree. She knows the population of women, and she knows that they are voters. So
Judge,
I
I would
would
make a
fear-
motion, I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
No,
go ahead.
I interrupted, my apologies. I would make a motion to, to oppose this legislation.
Yes. If I could stand on our roof, I would scream, yes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Judge, would it be okay if I know they're waiting, but would it be okay to take a break and go into executive session and do that? I'd just like.
Yes,
to-
it would.
Minute to everybody catch their breath.
It
please.
would. Kyle, Andres, you may not understand this, but we are doing you a big favor. Take a coffee break, allow us to do our executive session, and then the only thing left in our agenda, we will allow us to take a breath. It will allow us to concentrate on the presentation, which is so important, that you will be giving to us. Off the record, we will go. Connie, take us off the mics at 10:02 a.m. We'll be right back, probably for the clerk. I remarked that we're going into executive session, but I need to give notice that this is pursuant to the Open Meetings Act of Chapter 551 of the Government Code and in accordance with Vernon's 551, 071, 02, 03, 04, 05, 06, 86, and 87. All of the matters that we will go into executive session to consult with or for the purposes of consulting with our attorney, including matters relating to but not limited to litigation, real property, prospective gifts, personnel, termination, county advisory bodies, security devices, and economic development, and any other matter, as I've stated before. We will come back after executive session, in open session, take any appropriate action as we deem necessary. That's all, 10:03 a.m. If y'all would clear the courtroom and allow us the opportunity to deliberate here, we would appreciate it. Okay, we're back on the record, out from executive session. There are some actions that need to be taken in response to item number D. Is there a motion regarding case, I'm sorry, the time is 11:31. And is there a motion regarding case number 220CV47, Armin Lopez Jr. versus Nueces County? There is a motion. We'll hold for just a second.
I'd like to make a motion that we deny the request for settlement offer and authorize the county attorney to mediate for settlement.
Okay, I'll second that motion. And all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, wonderful. Item C was a consult only. Item B was a consult only, and item A was a consult only. Is there anything I'm missing?
No,
I
that
think
is
you
all.
missed one of them.
Did I?
I think so.
Did all of you vote aye? I'm sorry,
No.
Judge.
Oh, they were all,
We're all good, Francisco?
Number two,
That includes
A2? Did we
A,
do
B, and
A2?
C.
oh, you're talking on the agenda?
I was just talking about the executive session. Is there anything else in executive session that needs a motion?
No, nothing else needs a motion.
Thank you. That's what I was wondering. Okay, and so, no worries. Now that we have taken the action from executive session, we will go back into regular session, which is regular agenda item 3A1. So sorry.
Two.
Goodness gracious. What is wrong with me? Yes.
Should I resend mine first, or do you want to do
Yes.
that one first?
It's actually, go ahead.
And that's gonna be item what?
Yeah, go ahead and do the item again. I don't know why I'm struggling with the item number.
Okay, on C, Judge, board appointments, I want to rescind my nay vote. Change it to a yes vote. Based on the fact that Ms. Jenny Bell advised you that she is willing to withdraw from the board and take the appointment. The Mitrocon be appointed.
Okay. Does it need to be a motion for reconsideration first? Would you mind making the motion for reconsideration first?
Well, my motion will be to reconsider Mitrocon.
Okay, and then can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, and then all those in favor of just the reconsideration signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And now the motion that you made just a moment ago, is that a motion?
A motion to, Ms. Mitrocon be, Jenny Bell be replaced by Mitrocon based on the fact that she did tell you that it was okay with her to reappoint somebody else.
And Cisco, just to make it all perfectly clear, I'm going to, since the motion to reconsider the board appointment, I'm making the motion to appoint, and he's seconding with that qualification?
Yes, correct. That should be.
That
the
should be
correct
good?
protocol. Yes.
And now all those in favor signify.
Just
Go
restate the
ahead.
qualification, I apologize.
Sure. The qualification,
I couldn't hear.
would you restate it for him again?
The qualification?
You said assuming that something about Ms. Bell or something,
No, somebody said that she has told the judge that she's willing to withdraw, from the board.
Okay?
So I think what his motion is that, based on the representation that Ms. Bell is okay with not being on the board, is that?
Right, yeah,
Because I can,
because-
if that's the I can, okay.
I
just
don't
wanna
know
make
if she
sure.
qualifies or not, but that's not the point here. If she told the judge, hey, I'm
That she'd
okay.
be willing to move
I'm
over.
okay, you replace me, then, I guess. Unless she,
Okay, so again, just for clarification, for the clerk and for the county attorney, I'm making a motion to appoint Mitra Khan, and the second is being qualified, because he wants to make sure that Ms. Bell has told me that she would be willing to accept my decision to appoint somebody else, and that is your motion.
second the motion.
And he seconded that, and so all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Based on the representation, yes, I'm an aye.
And opposed, same sign. Okay. All right.
Sorry, Judge, He made the motion.
So I have to, motion to reconsider. So
Right,
basically,
like,
we're
we got
bringing up,
that.
I
Right,
hear you, I know.
But the motion was, you appointed.
I pointed, and he seconded.
Okay,
He
that's what I'm
said,
making sure.
yeah, thank you.
Okay,
Okay, and now, without further ado, we go to A1, 2A1.
Commissioners, if I may.
Yes.
Regarding the Armin Lopez case, was it to mediate or was it to negotiate?
Negotiate.
To negotiate.
Thank you. Would you make the clarification?
Sure.
You did? Okay,
Negotiate,
right, thank you.
Judge,
back
Yeah,
out.
reject the offer and negotiate.
negotiate settlement.
Thank you.
Judge, may I also, I would make a motion to reconsider, well, no, how would I do that? Because based on the representation of John White, we also discussed putting one
Okay.
on for John White. Maybe Missy Swoboda would be appropriate there, if that was
Yeah,
one
but
of your
do you want to
nominees?
make the motion to reconsider?
That's what I was wondering.
Well, actually,
That-
no, because I
you didn't
haven't,
make that
yeah.
Right.
So forgive me for the clerk, as if we haven't totally messed up your day.
No, it's fine.
G1, again, I'm calling upon G1, and I make the motion to appoint Misty Swoboda for John White.
And I
Misty
would second
Swoboda.
that motion based again on the fact that Mr. White has represented that he is absolutely fine with this as well, to move to the Parks Board. So I would second that.
To move to the Bob Hall.
Sorry, to Bob Hall. My apologies.
Correct, I knew what you meant.
Thank you.
And that is a second, and all those in favor of Misty Swoboda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, all right, and now, checks and balances, all good?
Fine with me.
Okay, 2A1. Kyle LeBlanc is here with LAN, and I wanted to tee this up by telling the audience that we have in front of us as commissioners a 98% draft. I love this. Only an engineer would qualify a draft. It's awesome, because it means that we can add to it.
We're getting closer.
We're getting real close, and this is the capital improvement plan for the next 4 years, 2021 to 2025, and you get to take it away. The only thing I want to share with the group is that I want to make sure at 12 o'clock, I'm going to step away. I want you guys to continue. I hope to be very quick. I'm going to step away to the Board of Judges meeting and join you again. Kyle, do you have slides? How are we going to do it?
We do. And
All
we're
right,
gonna
great.
Put those up here on the screen. And I'll talk loud with my
Yeah.
mask, so hopefully everybody can hear me.
Right. And the court recognizes that Andres Gonzalez from LAN is also here. And thanks, Juan, for being here. Do you happen to have one of these as well? No. We're going to get you a copy here, so you can, but you're going to follow along up here, but I'll get you one. County engineer is here too, checking our work.
Okay, well, good morning, Commissioners and Judge. Thanks for having us back. I think JP Grom is also on the line. He leads our program management
great.
services, so he's online. Andreas is here, as you acknowledged. We've had the opportunity to come before you for the past several weeks to kind of bring you up to speed and continue to talk about the drafting process of bringing this information to your attention. What we have for you today is a 98% draft. We're calling it 98% draft mainly because we need your input in prioritizing the projects that have risen to the top of the list for funding through COs of $50 million in 2021. That's our last slide in the presentation today. You've seen a lot of the information before, both in your booklets and as part of our discussions over the past few presentations that we've provided to you. So I'll quickly get to that slide that we can use in our discussion in the workshop so that we can work through that prioritization process. I'll start by giving you a really brief recap. You've seen these bullet points on the past several slides and the past several presentations. Next steps that we're focused on today is working through a prioritization process and finalizing the 2021 CIP for adoption so that we can move forward with certificates of obligation that were committed a couple courts ago. So in terms of this 2021 CIP update, We've got several projects that had been identified through the same process in 2019. We've gone through the update process to both expand scope, identify new projects, and identify projects which are complete or underway or have not changed in scope as part of the 2019 CIP. So what you have before you is the collection of information that we've gathered through meetings with staff and working through that list of projects. Next big piece is the funding discussion. That's using, or what projects get what funding and how do they get funded over the next 5 years. So the big question today is what can be anticipated as part of that Certificate of Obligation 2021. A brief step just to bring you all up to speed. What you have in front of you is not only the documentation which explains the process and the methodology that we use to get through the 2021 CIP update, but also the CIP project sheets. So if you go to the back, and we've called it an appendix because there's 67 different projects with project sheets that have been identified. If you go through and work through and read through all of those sheets, you'll see several big point identifying items as they relate to the project. So you've got a designated project number, a project title, a brief description of what the project is, some justification behind it. What's new between 2019 project sheets and these project sheets mainly is that little table in the middle that says Certificates of Obligation, CO funding tranche. That little table provides you with some information about how the funding has played out and could play out for CO 2021 and any future certificates of obligation. So we can certainly answer any questions that you might have about those project sheets and what's contained therein. Let's look at the overall picture. That's what's on the slide here. This is in your workbook. If you look at the second column to the right, that CIP subtotal for 2021 through 2025 is currently showing a total of $473 million. That's the amount of needs that the county has that has been identified through these projects. There's a breakdown between different funding sources. So if it's coming from county operations and maintenance, certificates of obligation, grant, all the way down the list, we've sorted out where the funding might come from. What I want to draw your attention to here today is what could be funded or may be funded through certificates of obligation. That's the green text in that second line on that table that you see. So we'll use the next slide to focus on that $374 million and what might fall into the CO 2021 $50 million amount. The point to drive home on this slide is that the county has a plethora of needs. We're just getting started in funding those needs through CO 2021 dollars. So what you're seeing on your screen now is a further breakdown of that green line from the previous slide. The green lines on this slide identify CO 2021 dollars and future COs or an unidentified funding source for several of these projects. That's the combination of the two bottom lines on that slide. What I want to bring to your attention right now is that based on the discussions that we've had with your staff, that we've identified $90 million in needs. That's that $90,748,000 total there. So today's purpose is to whittle down that amount to the $50 million threshold that you identified for COs in 2021.
Excuse me, is that what you're reading in this book here?
Could you
Yes,
show
sir.
us the page number, Kyle?
You got page number 6 there, and I don't see page 15 here, but.
Could you get us to the right page in the book?
I don't see 9.
It's 19 in our book. Page 19 in our book.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, so basically your presentation is like a highlight reel of the big book.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll try to keep us straight on the big book, 19.
Okay, thanks.
So the big point to drive home is that projects that are not prioritized, as we finalize this book, as we get from that 98% to the 100% version to provide to you, what we're going to need to do is identify projects which do not get funded, do not get prioritized today as part of that 50 million certificate of obligation, and we'll just shift those projects out into future years. That's going to change and tweak the final numbers that you see, but the point here is that that third line down, the CO 2021, needs to come to a total of about $50 million so that we have the correct needs identified and prioritized for this next round of funding. So this is the last slide that I was referring to at the start of our presentation. This list of prioritized projects is not in your book, Commissioner Gonzalez, so it's important to focus in on the slide that we have here on the screen. These projects are embedded inside the prioritization currently is the way the dollars are showing in the book, but these are the actual list of projects consolidated for our view and our discussion here today. So from animal care all the way down to risk management, these priority projects, it's not all 67 of them that we have listed in the book, but these priority projects are the one that have come out to total the $90 million amount. So today's focus and today's goal is to look at these line items, talk about them, consider them, deliberate, and take anything off the table that might be funded through some alternative funding source or future COs, and identify those now so that we're all on the same page and how to spend the $50 million going forward. There are a couple of points to make you aware of on this slide that we've been working through over the past week. Dale actually brought up in open discussion or public comment last Commissioner's Court last week that county finance software transition was needed to be funded, and there needs to be a funding source for those. That's the line CA 2401, County Auditor Finance Software Transition. That's the $6.3 million amount. We had it in the 95% version of the document that you received last time. After those comments and after the request of the judge, we put that into total funding out of CO 2021, but we've done a little bit more research and discussion with Blakely Fernandez, your bond counsel, to clarify what can and cannot be spent as part of certificates of obligation. So it's important to clarify here and make note that depending on the total amount that is allocated toward the county auditor finance software transition, and also some of the specifics about what the need is there and how it will be done will dictate if that project can remain inside of this CO 2021 list. I'll go into a little bit more detail just so you understand the background behind some of those comments. So there's two laws to consider. There's the tax law and then there's the state law. For tax law, if this project is traditional software in the sense that it's installed on county machines and servers, then it does or could qualify as part of a legitimate cost to the COs. If it's software as a service, that's kind of a gray area, so we'll just need to get some qualifying discussion from Dale, and specifically, I don't think that he has identified a specific software just yet. The second part, which is state law, has a little bit more of a nuance here. The state law does allow for soft cost up to 10% of the total COs that are issued to be paid through de minimis cost. I'm going to make de minimis cost. So if you can spend, the county can spend up to 10% on de minimis cost. It's $5 million that you could spend on projects that are not directly tied to a CIP project or a capital project. So what we have on this list is over that $5 million amount. the solution here would be to work with possibly somebody from, to work with Juan or Public Works, or identify what's in your regular tax budget that might be a capital project. Say you're doing a road that for some reason wasn't identified in this CIP. If that amounts to the $5 million, then we could simply swap out the dollar amount for putting that project, that capital project inside of this one, and then pay for the county auditor's needs, that $6 million amount, to finance that software transition. But just wanted to bring that to your attention. It is a big ticket cost here in this list. So technically, it does not qualify right now to be paid for by COs, unless we get down below that $5 million threshold. You could do a blended approach.
I was gonna say, can you like appropriate 2.5 million or
Yes.
3 million?
Yes.
That's allowed.
Yes.
Okay, and I have a question. As we talk about it, is there somebody, we can make our own notes, but can you also, like, take that off so we can see how we get from 90 to 50?
Yes, and I've got that.
I mean, do
I've
we
got the
agree
live-
that if it doesn't qualify, take it
got
off
the-
for now?
I've got the live spreadsheet that I'm sharing here on the screen.
46. Got mine.
Sorry?
Is it,
No, I got mine in page 46, but, you know,
and what do you,
can we have a copy of this thing that you're reading right now? Is there a way we can get a copy of that?
Can
I
you,
mean-
can you tell us what page?
I'm emailing it
No, he
right
said it
now.
wasn't there.
Yeah, it's on the agenda. There's a link on
On the agenda.
on the agenda for the presentation. And I do have a live Excel
I'll
copy.
take it again.
A live Excel copy of this list here on the screen, so that we can see what live updates might happen. So if we were to, as Judge suggested as a possibility, take off that particular project.
and tell me again, which one?
It's Dale, the auditors, the 6 million points.
It's CA 2401.
Hang on a minute.
It's County Auditor Finance Software Transition.
God, man, $6 million.
Because it's not necessarily considered a capitalized project, like a building project or improvement, it really can't fall on this list.
Yeah,
So that's the clarification to make
okay,
here.
so I'm just gonna,
A portion of it could,
Make
we could
my
be
note.
creative with how we finance that.
Right.
But for our purposes, our discussion today, wanted to make sure we knew about that.
and you'll remember that Dale said that this was a must, and that it basically is obsolete at the beginning of 2023. So that's why we inserted it, but bond counsel clarified it for us. Okay, I'm
That's
gonna make
correct.
that note. Go ahead, Carl.
Excuse me, is there any such thing that this could be upgraded instead of buying a whole new system?
So I don't know the details from what Dale has told us yet. I do know that he's asked for this software transition. I don't know the details of what your current auditing software entails.
I can speak a little bit
Oh,
to that.
okay.
Thank you, Michael.
So my understanding, Commissioner, is that that product is reaching the end of life, which by definition means we cannot do any upgrades to it because they're not going to be supporting us any longer past 2023.
So
So
we don't,
the product is dying.
so we don't have any kind of a
There's not a fix.
representative that represents this company that can come and tell us that it's dead, that
Well,
there's no
they-
hope for it.
They can come tell you that, but that's what Dell told us.
Well, that's what
in
I'm
the
saying.
last meeting.
I mean, I know nothing about IT or none of this stuff. I would like to have a representative come up and tell us that this is already dead. It can't go any further than what it's
Yeah,
gone.
I'm sure Dale has a letter from them that gave him that indication, and that's why he came to the court asking for the funds for the new software.
Mm-hmm.
And they've actually already started looking for new software packages, and we just hadn't identified one.
Are they, would you, at least by next court, will you have a,
Yeah, no
the
problem.
fall
Next
the
court,
answers
we're
for
gonna
him?
have that answer, we're gonna be something else.
Well, thank you.
Okay, no problem.
So what I'm showing you now on the screen is the Excel version of this sheet, so that we can work through what we're gonna move or cut from this list. What I have on the screen is a column AA, which shows the total estimated funding through CO 2021. It amounts to the $90 million right now. I've got a column right alongside it so that we can do a live edit and shave off what we need to shave off and make notes so that we can see the bottom line total change down there. So that's the end of the presentation piece of this. The next piece is to work through discussion, gain some consensus on what projects land inside of this $50 million total, and work through making tweaks on this spreadsheet so that we can all see that $50 million amount happen. And as you're thinking and calculating, I'll also point out that we currently have 2 generator projects that are working on, that are currently out to bid. So they're out on the street right now. One is the McKenzie Jail Annex generator. The other is the County Courthouse and Jail generator project. Those 2 totals, which are $4.2 million and $6.6 million respectively, do need funding. They have to be funded. The county, though, has in their hands a grant that is going to help pay for those. So what I would suggest is that if we get to close to that $50 million total, still not knowing how that total amount is going to play out because we still have to receive bids for these projects. These are just estimates right now. Maybe we identify a bench list of what project from this list comes up next should we gain that funding. So those are some options to consider.
John, take over. I'll be right back. Commissioner Morris is going to take over. My only suggestion, Commissioner, is we kind of know what these mean, but maybe it'd be a good idea, you can go quickly, just to make sure that you know, like, for example, in the first one, there were choices, and this might represent that middle choice or the high, so that people can make notes and go through it, so that instead of saying coastal park improvements, I know you've got the commentary, but, a little bit more might be helpful. And then I'll be right back.
Teresa, can you give me another copy? This one doesn't have the spreadsheet you're all looking at.
Sure.
All right. All right, so
My recommendation.
any questions before we start, or? I know everyone may have a list already of kind of, we'll go ahead and just continue, Kyle, with y'all's recommendations, and then I know there'll be some input from some of the commissioners on some limits on some of the projects as far as funding or scope of them, so.
I mean, I gotta go back and really review this.
Yeah.
The $90 million, I know that, but right now, what I submitted to you guys, is my version of my recommendations. I think it's probably the priorities that we need to, the county has 4 major functions, and that's, ADA, courthouse, jail, and roads. Those are major functions that we have, that we're responsible for. Everything else, it's because we want it, or we wanna do it, but I think we need to focus on those major functions, and this is my recommendation that I'm submitting to the court, so you might wanna look at it if you want. I'll give you a copy. And,
Yeah, that'd be great.
and when I
Thank
say
you.
chillers here, I really talk about chillers and generators and all that. I know I was thinking chillers, but it's generators and the chillers that go with it and everything else, but, so. I think it's the right thing to say. The chillers will be like generators, as far as the courthouse is concerned, as part of the improvements.
Yes, sir, I agree. And I think the chillers, I mean, they're all taken care of here at the annex and also at the courthouse. The only thing we're looking right now is just for the generator itself, right?
That's correct.
So I agree, generators are very
So we can
important.
take all the chillers of mine, put generators, so that's.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'll replace that chillers with generators, so. But I just think this is, for me, I mean, I think that this is something that I looked at and been working on to see how close can we get, it came up to 46 million. and I don't know that we need to spend all 50 million, but, something might come up, like you said, next year, something that we need the money for, and we can always go back to it, right? But, again, this is just my recommendation, that I would probably consider and stay with at this point, you know.
You mind if I approach and
Sure.
get a copy of that? I'll hand it to you. Okay, thank you.
I think that this is something that the judge and LAN and Juan would appreciate, for all of us to maybe put something in writing, so you can have something physically to review, to kind of gauge us. I mean, I know a lot of times we operate by consensus, and I'm sure you'll continue to hear some discussion here today, and maybe even offline, that we may send you individual emails or phone calls. But this will help, I think, give the court and the public also an idea of what our priorities are, what we stand to look at supporting. We know that there are larger estimates. Commissioner, by his example, has maybe reduced some of the costs there, but I think that's maybe something that we should all look at doing. I know that this has been a long process, a great, work and discussion that we've had over a long period of time now, and we need to make sure that we kind of recall back to presentations we've already had, priorities that we have set. Of course, we can always change it, and then that's what, part of this discussion is today, is that this is kind of living and breathing and can be modified. But, when we look at Bob Hall Pier, what does, and what to say, what does a partial amount of funding look like in design and scope and commitment that I think the court has already kind of suggested, compared to what maybe we could offer, right? I think we all may go and adjust some of these projects just to be mindful and not to go to the full cap, and also trying to fund other projects and bring those as well. But I think that maybe will be helpful. I mean, hopefully the judge will be back in time that we can discuss that and allow her to chime in. But I know for me, there are some recommendations that I agree with, and I'll think scope, maybe not so much, right? So, but y'all are the experts. That's why you're hired on. That's why you're here to give us your assessment of what the actual cost is, and then it'll be our job to stay on top and make sure that we do try to come under the estimate. Any of the other commissioners have any other concerns or input that they want to share with Kyle, or any direct questions on any of the projects that we have?
Just real quickly, thank you, Commissioner. And this is nothing new, I think I've articulated clearly, I think we need a new medical examiner facility. I haven't looked at, this is the first time I've seen Commissioner Gonzalez's list, but I've not ever been, and I think I shared this with you, I've never been in support of the $28 million version. I just don't know how we do that. I think it's definitely a need. I don't think it's an urgent need to spend that kind of money on it. So certainly that's that's the main area on here that I'm gonna be looking at to make some reductions, or maybe this gets pushed into another, I don't know, maybe this gets pushed into another round at some point down the road. But again, I do think we need to do something for that facility. It definitely needs upgrading. I just don't know what. But in general, and again, I haven't had a chance to look at Commissioner Gonzalez's stuff, so I'll certainly do that. But getting from 90 to 50 will be a challenge. Obviously, if the 6.3 comes off right off the top, then we're at 84. But that still means we've got to cut down some more. I've also had concerns over the amount of money that we're going to spend on an animal control facility. I haven't looked at that to see what this compares to what Commissioner Gonzalez is proposing. And again, those aren't anything new. That's kind of what I've had the position on all along. I think what we should do is, and we talked long enough, and then that way the judge can get hers in too, so I'm glad she's back, is just maybe let us all digest this. And I think we need to spend some money on ADA improvements for sure. I know others do that as well. So there's a lot to digest today, so I really don't have a ton of extra comments or dissection other than just restating what I've kind of said in the past on my positions. But I would like to just be able to take this back and study it some more and come back with suggestions or whatever we need to do.
On the animal care facility, just so everybody knows, what we've been working through as part of the 2019 CIP was expanded facilities at the existing animal care facility. So that total was a little under $1 million identified in 2019 as part of the CIP. Since then, the county hired a company called Shelter Planners of America. They worked through a prioritization process, some suggestions that they brought to the court back in December. We formed a committee to talk about location of an animal care facility. That committee brought the recommendation to the court that a new location for the animal care department building would be worthwhile to gain exposure to lessen animal euthanization. And so the identified location is right over by the fairgrounds at the old Texas Boll Weevil site. And I'm sure y'all recall that discussion, that presentation. The total cost to make that change, so that's a difference between 2019 CO or 2019 CIP and 2021 CIP, that $1 million change in going from just extra kennels to house dogs and cats to a full-on brand-new greenfield site development has transitioned to this total that you see here, that 5.3 million. That's the top-end project. That's what was identified by the committee as, yes, that looks great. Staff reviewed the plans that Shelter Planners of America put together. This is that total for that particular project. It could be reduced. So the total amount could be reduced, but then you're kind of back into the position where you are now, where you have a small facility that's not large enough at a different site, and then you're transporting animals between two different locations. That's probably not ideal. So what we've got here is the top end. If it needs to be cut, we could look at cutting items from that particular project.
I think at the location it is now, there's a lot of room for growth, you know? There's a lot of space up there for growth.
Definitely room for growth, and that's where we identified additional kennels could go.
It could be like a double decker too, you know, for dogs, you know? We're there already, and I don't know, to me, that's why
Right, and you had that small cost in the 2019 CIP.
Right.
The big deal with the change was the actual location of it and exposure for adoption. So to have a fronted facility on a well-traveled space was the push to relocate the facility to Robstown. Or I guess it's in Robstown. It would be relocated to the Texas Boll Weevil, Old Show Barn. There's some synergies there between what facilities currently exist there and what could be there.
it'd be hard to say we're gonna spend $5 million on animal control versus the other projects that we really need, you know? I mean,
Totally
it's gonna be
understand.
a hard sell
Totally
for
understand.
hard sell for the public, you know, I think, you know, I don't know.
And I agree, the location, I mean, there's definite benefits to keeping where it's at as far as keeping the price down. The one thing that we heard, though, on that project was the location, and I can guarantee if you spent even 1 second out there at the yard where my Robstown office is, you know, it's us and Animal Services, and then we have Public Works, and, you know, Animal Services, Care Services is all, you know, it's in the back of the yard. It's hard to find, it's hard to maneuver and negotiate to get to there. My hope is that, you know, that we have longer extended hours for Animal Services. And the location that has been pinpointed or selected as a new site really complements that because it's right off, you know, it's right off of Business 77 into County Road or State Highway 44. And we've already been working with the city of Robstown on that. We had some zoning question issues that we worked through. We've been in touch with them. And the great thing about this location, this new location, is that it gives it a chance to be seen and to be able to access much easier than the other way.
You're also down the street from an elderly care facility, which also could, beyond the animal part, it could provide some potential opportunities for therapy.
There's a lot of other, you know, programs that are done in other communities, and that could be one of them. I think, all of the items that we look at are going to be, really have to kind of comb through them. I mean, if you want to do easy math, and it's not going to make maybe one or two members of the court happy, but if you want to do easy math, out of the 90 million, take 28 million for medical examiner, get away with that. $20 million for Bob Hall Pier, and get rid of that, and you're at your $40 million mark. That's not what I think we should do.
50.
I'm sorry, well, it'll get it to around 40, if we cut those two, right? But this is a list of a lot of needs over wants. I agree with Commissioner that the new animal care department building may be more of a want than a need, but I think we need to upgrade. I think we need to have a new location there. But like we were saying, I mean, this gives us a chance to look at it ongoing, because there's not really anything, we're going to have a new badging system. Well, we need a new badging system, and it's $108,000. Hilltop needs improvements there, right? And it's $1 million. It's like,
And that $1 million would just be an upfront cost. So that would just be paying for design
That's why I put
services
$2
of the
million. I
facility.
think it's more, $2 million is more realistic, that's why I put $2 million.
For design services.
Well, no, I mean, for upgrades, the Hilltop.
Currently, the total estimated amount for upgrades at Hilltop is 22 million.
But that's not tearing it down, is it?
No, sir.
Yeah.
It would be a complete renovation of the existing facility. That's the way we understand that Commissioner Hernandez would want to
That's why I'm
go.
working with the architect, yes.
Yes, sir. So this first, or this initial cost would be helping to pay for design services to do the renovation of that facility. You would still need to have funding to actually move forward with construction activities based on the design. So what we have here currently is just the design portion, not the complete $22 million amount.
I'm letting Mr. Pimentel take charge of that, so, he'll guide me.
Yes, sir.
I think $2 million can do the design and start the construction on certain parts, I mean, you're not gonna be able to do all of it at one time, but you can do sections of it.
You have about a 40,000 square foot facility. An estimated budget amount, just to start with, is about $250 a square foot. There's an additional cost and need at that location for utilities, $5 million to improve the water line that feeds water to that facility. That's what's included currently in the $22 million total. And $250 a square foot is not too far off from what we see for renovation costs and construction of facilities.
I still think we should have we need to have a workshop anyway, I thought it was gonna be a workshop today, but I still think we need to have a workshop and everybody just hash it out and say, it's hard to come to court and try to vote on something that you hadn't really discussed. I mean, this is something we really, really gotta consider, discuss, and, the jail, to me, the jail is probably the most important one there, the jail and the ADA, and I met with the sheriff, I met with Juan, and they've got problems at the jail now. I mean, I don't know where you have, the jail is really a must, and I think we should do $1 million, like, my thing here is $1 million for an assessment. Let us know the jail is still good. Does it have life and how long? Does we need to go to the public and hopefully get a bond to go for the community and say, we need a new jail? If it passes, it passes. If it don't pass, it don't pass. At least we tried, right? Tell the people we came to you, and you said no. But it's gonna take a lot of repairs, a lot of upgrade on the jail, so.
Which some are currently going on right now.
Yeah, but we need another $1 million to really get to the bottom
Agreed.
of the whole thing. And $700,000 for the assessment that I'm hoping we can do. So, and the county, I know we're doing this in the county too, the courthouse, but I think another $2 million would help us with the county, I mean, I'm going on the areas that we really should be touching on first. that really are really our core functions, which is,
Well, we have such areas as the district clerk. It gets all wet, it leaks real bad, needs new carpet, okay? And, the DA's office also has, needs in their rooms of the grand jury. Gets, soaked in there every time it rains. So we have a lot of work to do here in the courthouse that needs priorities, I would think.
So right now, there's a project going on for exterior wall remediation.
Yes, I am aware of
we
that.
need the inside.
Yeah,
They-
I'm talking about the inside of the courthouse.
There's also a project identified on this list that Juan brought to our attention for jail and courthouse roofing. So a new roofing project on the jail and courthouse, and and new atrium windows there on the courthouse, here at the courthouse. So that's the $7.1 million item down, second from the bottom.
It's kind of
That's-
far down,
that's that
Matt.
project.
Kind of far down.
So this isn't a top to bottom priority list.
Okay.
It's not,
I hope not, yeah.
no, sir, it's simply a list of the items. It's not or the first thing on the list, the animal care facility is certainly not priority number one. It's just the total list, and it's just how we received the information, so.
So then, I guess, with today, I mean, I guess we should be leaving with some sense of what our priorities are, though. I mean, that's what y'all are here for. That's why we called the workshop that turned into a meeting, but we have you here in person, so I think that this is really the chance that we have to kind of talk it out more, unless, we want Kyle to kind of shift through all of our mentions of projects and possible funding and let him come up with something as a finalized version to vote on. We probably need to give a little bit more discussion. I mean, obviously, we're all going to be key on keeping the cost of these projects to a minimum.
Yeah.
But we,
Commissioner, also on the IRT, it's coming up in June, and that's very, very important to us right now, that we have some funds to cover the IRT, because they're gonna do roads, they're gonna do retention ponds, they're gonna work at the fairgrounds, they're gonna do all kinds of work that is gonna help the roads, the road operation for the county, which is one of our major functions. They're gonna help do a lot of that. So $2 million here is just to help us with material, because you're not gonna find anywhere, anytime, the labor they're gonna give us for free, the military. So when you get that kind of labor, I mean, you're almost cutting your costs in half, or maybe more, because the labor's where you really pay. So I think that, nobody ever thought I don't know if they thought about the IRT or not, but that's a function that's gonna affect the whole county. The western part of the county, the rural area, that needs to be done, and so, the reason that I did the $2 million for the IRT is to make sure that the public works, under Mr. Pimentel, has, those monies to buy the material that we need for some of those roads. So, I mean, if we wouldn't do it now, it's gonna cost us 3 times more if we do it with a contractor or with engineer or whatever. Right now, we're doing it with the IRT. So, and with the help of some engineers, I'm sure. But, again, this is what I think that the IRT is, it's coming around June. You want to go about maybe 3 months before he's here. And,
are you familiar with the IRT?
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, typically would materials be a part of
As
like
I
the
underst-
long-term funding for a CIP?
Sure, you can do that. As I understand it, you have to front the cost for the materials. The labor is the IRT part.
Right.
We've identified costs here that would fund both the cost of the materials and the labor to install them.
for the IRT?
No, the cost for the materials and the cost for the labor to install them. If the county was able to qualify and get those IRT, get that IRT help, then that would save the cost of
We're
what's
gonna
been
get it. I mean,
identified here.
We're gonna get it, it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming, I mean, it's here, so.
Excuse me, Juan, can you kind of help us out with that? Didn't we discuss something like that?
I mean, it's coming, it ain't like that. It's,
Yes, sir, Commissioners, and Judge, Commissioners, you are correct, Commissioner Commissioner Gonzalez. You know, in doing this process through the RRT, you will be saving anywhere from 50 to 60% on your total cost. And I think the question is the $2 million for the materials. You know, it would be a
Might not be
recommendation,
enough.
in my opinion.
might not be enough, yeah.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah. But, you know, we have to do what we gotta do, so.
Do you have a question, Commissioner? Or-
No, it's a big, and it's gonna be a big plus for the county, you know, and I know that once they do, everything's done, you know, even at the fairgrounds, you know, that you talk about a lot of money being spent at the fairgrounds. You know, if the IRT comes on and does the fairgrounds, you know, in the parking lot area, the concrete, that's a big savings. You know, to do all that labor. So we don't need the manpower that or different engineering companies to monitor what's already gonna be done, that the Public Works probably gonna monitor.
That's
You know,
correct.
because they're actually working through him or to us to make sure it gets done. So,
You're currently doing parking lots right now at the fairgrounds, correct, Juan, with
That-
ABM?
That's correct. It's part of their contract.
it's part of the contract with the IRT also. So, again, what I'm trying to say, it might have to cut back on ABM, because if we're gonna get the labor from, the IRT, so we don't need a contractor. I mean, we know they're gonna provide all the contract.
And Commissioner, we had a meeting yesterday with ABM regarding the fairgrounds. And I think we probably need to sit down with the ABM here pretty quick to discuss, well, we had talked with Joe.
Joe?
Yes, sir. We need to set up a quick meeting.
Yeah. I mean, we're trying to save money for the county, right? I mean, trying to do everything we can to save money, county. And I'm gonna go back to Dale's thing. I don't know how much, $6 million is a lot of money. But, you know, 2 minutes ago, I heard Dale say we got plenty of money. So I don't know where that plenty of money is that we can't draw $6 million from. So I know that Dale said two minutes ago, don't worry about it, we got plenty of money. So evidently he's got money, I guess he can bring up for $6 million and buy his probe.
That would be
But it
something to
shouldn't come out
discuss.
of CIP, you know?
We agree.
So, I mean, you tell me you got money, man, you better show me the money.
So I'm not aware of the conversation that Dale brought up, though.
Happened in court, so.
So Kyle, on the medical examiner facility, or
Yes, sir.
or Juan, or I don't know, is Michael still here? Didn't we take some action on that
I think
at the latter part of 2020? Was it design, or what was it, I guess, the scope of what we were expecting with the
So
project?
what Smith Group performed for y'all was a design analysis.
Right.
They went through a design analysis, and they provided a couple of different options. Option one was simply a new medical examiner facility. Option two was a medical examiner facility with a toxicology portion, but it was just the shell of that toxicology portion. The last part was a full build-out with toxicology at the forefront. So the Commissioners Court decided at that time that option two was the best to pursue. Option two is what you see in the total cost here at the $28.3 million mark. So that is the option two that the Commissioners Court decided at that point in time when Smith Group brought that presentation forward.
For review only, not to do it, but so we approved it, so we can bring it back, so we.
So
we
at
can
that,
get it-
yes, sir,
yeah.
at that time and since then,
Yeah.
at that time, before then, we knew that there wasn't a funding source available. And so that's why it's on the CIP list, still.
Commissioner,
Kyle.
can I say something, Commissioner?
Oh, no.
But I'm just saying, because the $8 million I put there, I think it's really too much. $8 million to me, if you wanna upgrade the facility, but also, develop a building next to it, you know, for the morgue, you know, I think you can do that, you know, with that kind of money and not having to spend $28 million. I think the problem there is having a space for the morgue. That's the main problem, right, I think that we have sometimes, you know,
In general, it's a capacity issue at the current facility.
right, and that, to me, I mean, with $8 million, I'm sure you can build a building next to it to be your morgue, you know? And probably a mini lab next to it, I don't know, I mean, I just need to go back, I think we need to really study that. One more thing, before you go, one. You know, so that's what I'm thinking, I mean, we upgrade the main building as much as we can, you know, we add a new building next to it for the morgue, you know, for 20, 30 bodies, I don't know how many bodies they need, you know, how big they want, but, you know, I think we can do that, I mean, with $3 million, I mean, I'm sure you can build one, you know, and then you have your, I mean, maybe a mini lab, I don't know what it would cost for a mini lab. We don't have to have a real fancy lab, you know, DPS has one and it's not fancy, believe me, you know, but they have a good lab.
With those costs, Commissioner, if you're looking at about within that price range, you're probably looking about a 10 to 12,000 square foot building, including design.
And how much
Right,
is that?
it's about $700 a square foot for, that's what Smith Group's estimation was for. Well, it is a different type of facility than it's like a medical facility. So it's about $700 a square foot. Juan's right in that it would be in between an 11,000 to 12,000 square foot facility at that price point.
So at the end of the day, what's the price? You think it'd be 5 million, 6 million, 7 million?
Well, by the time you do if you're doing a 7 million, then you gotta, of course, pay for the professional services and then other services that are attached to it. So you're looking about a $6.5 million project.
So pretty close. I mean, you know, I'd rather do projects than do 3 or 4 projects. I mean, we can do 15, I mean, we're better off. I mean, why do 2 or 3 and then come back and we're still trying to find money to do the rest of them, you know?
And this isn't all the projects. These are just the
Well, I know.
top priorities. We're still looking at a total that $437 million is what we were showing on that previous slide. We've done our best to pare that list down based on feedback from Commissioners Court and staff, and that's this list that we're looking at now. And it's up to court on which projects get into that $50 million total. Couple weeks ago when we presented, we showed what those projects were. It was the Bob Hall Pier and the medical examiner facility. That got you right there to the $50 million mark. So what we've refined that list. We've expanded the list really so that you could see, maybe take Commissioner Gonzalez's position where you cut a big project off of this list, look for alternative funding for one of those projects or 2 of those projects, and you do more quantity of projects rather than a select few projects. So it's up to Commissioners Court to decide that, though. We definitely don't want to put ourselves in the position of prioritizing for you.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah.
So, I mean, want us to have more opportunity. I'm trying to string this along until the judge gets here, because, yeah, so we can have everyone's input and also make sure that we know what direction we're taking. Obviously, this would be in a future meeting that we would need to take action on, right? Our bond counsel wants and expects us, Tyner, to make action soon.
Yes, I just got off the phone with Noe. He's monitoring the meeting. We can prioritize later. I will recommend next court and every court thereafter until we nail it down. But
Kind of, I still think we need to have a workshop, man. We need to sit down and.
Well, that's what this
Well,
is right
I
now,
think a
so.
workshop among ourselves to say, what do you want to give and take? I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean,
Well, and,
you know, really seriously put something together that you want. Maybe he don't need 15 million for the pier this year.
I need 18.
You know, he gets some more next year. I mean, maybe he does. Maybe he does, you know, but, you know what I'm saying?
No, I know what you're saying.
But-
Well, you know, if you want me to put it next quarter as a workshop, I will. There's nothing in the law in the Open Meetings Act that defines what a workshop is, but,
What I thought we were gonna do is have like
Yeah.
one meeting just for this,
Right.
right?
Mm.
And so I don't wanna put this, our
An
agendas
agenda.
are insanely long as they are. And I don't wanna put this one on a regular agenda
No,
because
yeah.
we'll be here till tomorrow.
Right.
So my hope would be that we could find a time to where we make this a workshop / action item, only one agenda item,
Yeah.
to where we can spend the time just on this and we
I
don't
mean,
start with all the other things that get us frustrated and we can just dig into this and be emotionless and not, you know, completely, but, and just logical and move forward. So I would again like to just ask that we find a date convenient to the court, can't do it today, judge isn't here, to where we can come back and do that as just an item, because now we can digest it, and there she is. We talked as long as we could to keep, so you could get back, Judge, but, and
Well,
then come back
thank
and do
you
it in
so
that manner.
much. How did it go, Kyle?
Still
Still
right where
going?
we started.
We
Good.
just were kind of to the point, Judge, I think,
Yeah,
where
go
we were,
ahead.
what I was suggesting was, if we could let everybody digest, and certainly, if you want to put anything in right now, you, obviously, we want you to, but what I'd suggest is we try to really do this as a workshop / one agenda item meeting, if that's possible, so that we come in
Yeah.
fresh, because this could take hours on its own.
Yeah, it
And-
could.
And so,
Well, this is a start, right?
no, it's a
This
great
is-
start. That's just kind of where we were in the meeting. That's what you were asking,
Yeah.
and whatever you need to throw in there, please.
So, yeah, so I just want you to know that my 2 cents to summarize is, when you see a packet that represents 450 million, that's real. Those are real cost estimates to really see what your county looks like. And I don't want you to be afraid, because if we were a larger county, it'd probably be $1 billion or higher. And this is over time, right? This is a phased approach. But if you don't understand the universe, it's really hard to reach for the stars. And so I think that this gives us a realistic understanding of what's out there and the great needs. And people want to know where you spend your money and how you spend your money. And some of the things that we've done have helped us identify future needs. So you don't build for today. You always build for tomorrow. Why is that? Well, number one, if you build for today and you have anticipated growth, you've underperformed and you have cost yourself not once, but twice. And the future cost of constructions, particularly in the world of concrete, have really risen in a huge way. And we need to build forward thinking, and that's what all of this is all about. I just want to highlight 2 things that I think are important. One is, I'm going to work with the auditor, I don't want him to hear that this didn't qualify and therefore he's out of luck. We know that this is incredibly important, and we think there might be other opportunities for funding. It's just going to have to be a hybrid, and I think you heard that correctly. The other thing I want to say is that my priorities for the county, I think, are ones that I've heard you all articulate. Bob Hall Pier is not a guesstimate, okay? These are actual costs that have been seen on proposals, although we don't have RFPs we do have RFPs on the street. We'll be able to plug better numbers in probably in 30 days. But these are very strong estimates based upon what we call the disaster statement of value that was submitted to FEMA. So these are better than us eyeballing it. That's what it's gonna take. So anything less than 20 million, you will not get a modern pier that will last you 100 years. If you understand that that pier makes you $1 million in the future every year, you'll realize that you wish you could have piers all over the county, because you'd be getting your money back within a very short time. So that's very exciting.
$15 million 1 year and then come back and do another $10 million on the pier? I mean,
Well, that's what's great about this. None of this, even though you appropriate it, it is over time. It's like probably a 3-year project, right? So that's the good thing. You won't be using all of that money in 1 year.
and I'm figuring here,
I'll have
this
to
is the
figure out how
first
to-
year.
Oh, sorry. We still have to figure out how to spend the 50, right, Judge? I mean, you still have to kind of assign, like.
That's right, that's what I'm saying. I
kinda
don't know how to
like,
say that, encumber it, or, not encumber it, but
Assign it, I mean, whatever,
assign it.
encumber, whatever.
It's
But
kinda
it
like
could
you-
wind up being less, right?
It's like you see in this slide that we have up here on the screen. If you're looking at that second line down, CO 2019, you'll notice that the total, which is on the very far right-hand side, 40,310,000. That's this report from Teresa. Teresa's been great to work with. So your bottom line is that $40 million that was passed in our 2019 COs. You'll see, though, that cost plays out over time. So prior years, you've actually spent 16 million of that 40 million. You've encumbered or appropriated the remainder to play out over 21, 22, and 23. So it's a phased out approach. But you commit it now so that you can do the project
And in-
over the next couple
And in
years.
fact, what I've learned from working with you guys is that you can't authorize a contract, even though it might take 3 years, like the envelope of our building's gonna take 1, 2 years,
year.
or 1 year. Even though you wanna say, I've got the money now to get us started, it doesn't work that way. You actually have to commit the whole thing so that that contract can be a valid contract, so you know you can afford it through through all the phases.
You can blend it a little bit, so you could, like Commissioner Hernandez is wanting to do, pay for some design up
Sure.
front. And then, hey,
Exactly.
once we get started on construction, you don't want a half-done building.
Right, you have to have the whole
So commit the
thing.
funds all the way so that you can pay for the whole thing.
And the hard part about Bob Hall is that you can go 10 to 15 for the pier. The problem is you have underwater debris removal, that's 3.5. You've got a parking lot. In other words, when we say Bob Hall Pier, it's really, maybe we should call it Bob Hall, reconstruction or something, because it's really much more than just a pier. And then the next things I wanted to highlight is that I'm fully aware that if you add up ADA, Bob Hall Pier, the essence of the courthouse roof, generators, and glass, atriums, windows, plus what I'm gonna call, the basics of, remember that 785, that software as a service? Okay, so that's not you don't get to, say no, we've committed to that by contract, so that one has to stay in. And then nothing works countywide without upgraded Wi-Fi infrastructure, nothing. And from the jail all the way to the fairgrounds, we have operating on 20-year-old infrastructure. It must be upgraded so that all of your projects will be fruitful. So if you do all that, there's probably no room for an ME office in this group. But what there is an opportunity to prioritize the jail, the courthouse, and ADA and Bob Hall Pier, and then some slight flexibility for some other things. What I wanted to say is that I would like to ask us to relook at Hilltop, and because it's a huge chunk in here, and like you said, you could start with design, and that would be your first piece of it. But in order to start a remodel, you're gonna spend almost twice of what it would cost to scratch it and start again. And so that's something I would ask us, if we're gonna be fiscally minded, you can get a brand-new building for 8 or 9 million, but if you're gonna go through a remodel and keep your structure, because of updating codes, updating infrastructure, it's gonna be a $20 million project. So I just point that out, because it's not always the case that it's better to renovate. Sometimes it works against you, and at Hilltop, it does. It's much more economical, to the tune of 8 million versus 20 million, to do a complete redo that you get to completely have a hand in designing. And so that's interesting. And the same is true for the animal care. You could add on, but you're not gonna get a facility that will last you. And that was our number one priority from an infrastructure. It's just not capable of being anything more than it is, which is not a competent building. You would never wanna add good money there, because you would never hold any value there. And so maybe, that one has a different number depending on what you choose. But there's no doubt that building new there is remember, this plan is to build for your 50-year future. So I just think that's kind of an interesting thing. Smaller things that I want you all to consider is that we've done a great job of digitization. There's no question that digitizing records is the way of the future. You pay now or you pay twice later. It's a small amount, but it'll make a big difference. They're child support documents that we would be digitizing for that price. And I want you to think about making another small investment every time we do this, that we consider the district clerk and her digitization projects. That's a very special one, but it'll make a big impact. And then finally, the opportunity to do the generators. If you ask me what my number one project would be, it would be the generators. And that's because nothing functions without power. And I need to, on a completely separate day, come back with Juan and talk generators, generator power, where we're heading in our future. I was already a fan of resilience. I've been working with Juan and his team on resilience, but the winter storm literally made believers of everybody on what it means to have natural gas and battery backup. And it will cost more, but I promise you, when you need it, where would our inmates go between COVID and a winter storm? There's nowhere to ship them anywhere. You can't just say, like we used to during hurricanes, oh, we'll go ahead and transfer prisoners. You can't transfer prisoners when you're in the middle of a pandemic. So I think that 50 million sounds a lot until you get this piece of paper. And then it turns out you needed 90 million. And can we get to 50? You bet we can. The medical examiner's office is going to suffer as a result. But I have an idea that I would like to bring back on another day, because we've got to put ADA, this courthouse infrastructure, and Bob Hall, because it brings back money to the county, and the generators as our top priorities. And there's other small things like the Wi-Fi infrastructure and things like that. So those are my comments, and I look forward to, as they say, diving in. And I appreciate this because this is a great beginning, and maybe everybody can do this collectively to look to see what their priorities are. But if you really look, even though these priorities may not match with everybody's, we can get pretty close. And we can also say, like for heavy equipment, I think that can come out of another, I mean, we might be able to make an investment in Road and Bridge Fund, budget, or make an investment in M&O side of things.
Your Honor, for the purpose of the record, what are you referring to that this is a good?
Oh, the JAG's 2021 CIP recommendation, that I like the idea that he took the time to say, well, this is what's important to me. And he shows his version of how he would spend approximately 50 million. His is 46.7, but mine was 45, in other words, everybody gets as close to 50 million as possible. Why? Because of what Kyle said in the beginning. You're allowed a de minimis piece, and I always allow ourselves the flexibility of the what if. In 2019, nobody knew that the envelope of the building was going to be highly compromised. That flexibility gave us the opportunity to put that in and address those needs that were 911. So I was just referring to this document.
Thank you.
Thank you. So do y'all feel good about letting Kyle go and working with him offline on, was there anything that we left out that you brought up? No? Nobody had any projects that they noticed were missing? Okay.
Judge, if I may, how would bringing this back again, next court, the commissioners could input to Kyle as we go over time, go over the list. If people have recommendations, let Kyle know as we go along. And then the day after, have that workshop.
That'd be the 24th, Kyle. We'd give you some input, and the 25th, we'd have the workshop.
We'd have the workshop the following
I'd have to check the
day.
calendar.
Do something like Commissioner Gonzalez did, everybody give something like that to Kyle, and
Would that be permissible with you?
That would be fine. I would probably want to have a follow-up conversation just to understand the details behind it. So if we could set up
Sure.
some conference calls one-on-one between you
Okay.
and LAN.
That's fine.
To go through the details and understand a little bit more. one of the examples here is on Commissioner Gonzalez's list, the ADA projects that are left to be complete. Here at the courthouse need $4.2 million. There are also countywide ADA projects that need $1.8 million. So we want to make sure to capture those as
We had
well.
$1 million left over, though, that hasn't been used, so.
And this
that gives
counts
us $5
that,
million.
this counts that in. So the $4.2 million deducts that from the 2017 COs of unallocated funds.
On mine, I just added the 1 plus the 4, that's 5.
Where's that? Oh, yeah.
I added, I'm taking 4 from the top, but I'm adding the
Right.
1, so it's 5.
Yeah, the only thing that I would say is, yes, go ahead and work
So,
with each
anyway,
commissioner and get the updates. And the only thing I would like you guys to recognize is that ballparking it is great for your own mind. Like when I do a $45 million, $50 million, I'm going to think about Bob Hall is 20 million. Well, we know it's not exactly 20 million, right? But the estimates that are provided to you are real. And if you want a project finished, you're going to have to say, I want this project. You can't leave it piecemeal unless you're saying it's only for design services. In other words, like on, let me give you an example, like on Hilltop, okay? You can't give it 2 million if you know that it's 2.4 or 2.5. If you really want to see that project finished, you're going to have to get a little tighter about the dollars. And so I just want to share that with you that.
And as you're looking at and sorting through what we've provided to you, those 67 project pages that we have up here on the screen, it does provide that breakdown between the different funding tranches, the fiscal year plan, which includes project cost over a year by year, the funding source, and what the project schedule would be for those. So those are good estimates for what we've got ahead of us. So like, for instance, the 22 million at Hilltop has this same level of detail on the project sheet for it. So take a look at it and consider it as you work through some budget estimates on your end.
Yeah, that's right. And like, for example, there might be a way to say, which, I might appeal. Commissioner Gonzalez says, hey, 8 million from a medical examiner. I might say, hey, that might be great. That would be an $8 million contribution from this CO, and the rest gets financed through a public-private partnership. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like these numbers can't be worked in, but one thing I'll caution is a CO is not meant to say, here are your 10 projects. In fact, that would be a mistake. You want to do is, we want to have a consensus that this is where we're headed, but every item comes to court once it's authorized for the RFQ or the RFP. This is an opportunity for us to go, yeah, these are the items that you're gonna see come to court and get addressed. You want the whole universe, right, in there so that you have tons of flexibility. And I do know, and I gotta look at the agenda item, Cisco, but Mr. Hinojosa is asking, or had asked, let me look at the item.
I think you would want to approve this list of updates.
That's right. He would want to at least, because remember, he's on a schedule, he would want to at least know that this plan is a 98% draft. That all it is includes all of the projects and say, I mean, it's still not a final, but that was my understanding.
Yeah, you can
Tyner.
still prioritize later.
You can still,
But
but he
he's
wants to know.
asking, we need them to agree on the list.
Right, that this is the list, that everything in here is available,
It's-
the list of needs, because he needs to produce this.
Judge, can I make a recommendation?
Yes,
On the first item for I'm looking at Commissioner Gonzalez's list, the $4 million for the ADA. And I know I sent an email out previously when we were looking at these budgets, but I think the $4 million is going to be light to take care of ADA issues.
oh, yeah.
And I think, well, my recommendation.
We're not agreeing,
No, no, no.
we're just starting.
No, but I'm just kind of making a recommendation. I think if we're gonna really look at ADA and based on what the bids we've been coming in and what we've been looking at, I know that this was an estimated cost from the architect previously, but I think we're gonna be close to $8 million.
I agree.
On the,
And I
on
think
the
we're
whole
short.
projects?
So.
Yes, sir, on all ADA projects.
On all ADA.
The ones that we've already started?
I'm talking about the ones that we've looked at,
We need to do.
finish.
that we need to finish.
So you have $4 million committed from previous COs. You still need $4.2 million for the courthouse. You have 1.8 that you still need for countywide accessibility projects. So it's a little over close to $6 million.
And Juan's saying that the bids are coming in high. So that's what he's trying to say, is that he's giving the recommendation that 8
Probably double
million
it.
is a better number for ADA countywide.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, you said we can get the equipment somewhere else, maybe that 3 million for the equipment goes to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's so many ways you just have to do it. I think what Noe wants is look, they need, the bond folks, when you do a CO, they want to know what the universe is. That's what this represents. So what he's asking Tyner for, and Tyner's telling us, is that he needs us to at least for now, say that we have consensus that the draft as presented, 3/12/21, that's what it's labeled here. I know it's 3/17, but, or you can say 3/17, represents our current capital improvement plan. Is that, can you guys, Noe is asking for that, would that be acceptable for the court? If so, I can make a motion that the capital improvement plan as presented by LAN, our program managers, presented in court today, 3/17/21, is a comprehensive look at years 2021, 2025 needs and represents over $450 million worth of projects, specifically at least 90 million that would be needed to address immediately. Tyner, do you think that's good for Noe? Okay.
Yes.
Well, in that case, having said that,
So we're gonna borrow, we say we're gonna borrow the 50 million or that's what we're gonna borrow?
50.
50. But he needs to know that this is the projects that we would allocate to. Everything in here represents everything that we know today that's wrong with us. I guess we're gonna need to get a book that's right with us, but this is what needs to be attended to over time. So I've got a motion. Does anybody,
Wait, what-
okay,
tell me
you'll
what-
second that.
And what was the, tell me,
Just that the capital improvement plan today, as presented, represents our capital improvement needs as articulated in this 5-year CIP, that this is, and if there are any additionals, we will add to them before,
so is this different than how much different? I guess I didn't know we were doing that today, because I thought we were just gonna prioritize the 50 million, and I wasn't sure that's what we were doing. So we've passed a CIP before, right, back in 19. So is this radically different from that?
yes,
Okay, so,
just acknowledging. What we're really doing is, and when we say past a CIP, I really believe it's more of just an acknowledgement that this represents our county's needs.
Yeah,
And it just says, any of these projects are eligible for capital improvements when you can get funding.
Judge Noe is on the line.
That's even better. Thank you. Noe, I tried, my friend, but I need you to tell us how important it is. Where are you? I don't see him. I'm switching screens. Okay, switching screens. It's basically an acceptance of the plan. Maybe that's the better way to say it. Acceptance that this represents our current needs for the next 4 years.
so how does a person, how do I rectify, like, scope versus, cost versus, in other words, I don't know that I would necessarily, and I didn't know we were doing this today, I'm sorry, I thought we were just doing this 50 million, so I don't know that I would necessarily pull anything off here, because I voted for the prior one, right? But I don't know that I would agree with the scope of work on all of it, and
Yeah, it
so
doesn't.
I'm just trying to figure out
Yeah,
how
all
to.
it says is this is what your engineers on an independent basis have identified as your needs. It doesn't mean you agree with it or it means that these are the needs as identified by a third party.
you gotta come back and.
Yeah, of
and
course.
do our 1 through whatever, you
Yeah.
know?
And so, and tell me again, I'm sorry, I'm going to be making people repeat, but tell me again why we need to do this one in.
Because bond counsel wants the most current. But, Noe, why don't you help out? Why don't
'cause
you
is-
address?
I would have thought the 19 would have been okay to carry us for a while, but maybe that's.
Not,
there
not
are
if it's
some-
changed.
There are some pretty substantial changes between 2019 and 2021. One great example is Bob Hall Pier. We didn't know about the
Yeah.
destruction there that was going to happen in 2019, so we have now added it to the 2019 CIP. Scope has expanded on some projects. Some projects have been completed. That's recognized here in this document as well.
And also ADA, I mean, as we just got more refined and seeing costs, we had to update. So all this is an acknowledgement. Your capital improvement plan is your universe of what you need to address in the future. But it's not an acknowledgement that that you're gonna say, we're gonna do them all, or it's just, this is what's wrong with you, so to speak. And
Yeah,
go ahead.
if I may, Judge and members of the court, Noe Hinojosa for the record. Page 7, again, is just a list that LAN, with your authority, permission, has prepared for your benefit. And basically what we need is for you to agree to this list so that we can tell your attorneys who is helping us in preparing a disclosure document, an official statement before the sale, that this is a line of various items that you see fit to fund during 21. So we're trying to do, as the judge indicated and others, is that you want to have as broad of authority as you can of the various projects, not on the amounts per se. Like here you have county auditor finance software transition, 6,365,000. Well, if you want to move that to 7 or to 5 down the road, you can modify that.
But so Noe,
As long as you stay within the 50 million and as long as you stay within those line items. That's all this is.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding. So what Noe just referred to was this list, which is page 7, right? Which, if that's all we're being asked to vote on today, then I get that, okay. I don't, none of us, we haven't decided if we agree with how much or whatever, but that's what I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to get, I think what Noe said is we need to vote just on page 7 on, as far as this is what our priorities are, right, Noe? Or am I misunderstanding that?
For purposes of, for purpose of guidance for what we want, in order to have the official statement put together, that's all we need.
So could we?
Page 7. Okay, but Noe, don't you want the whole, what if tomorrow, I'm just gonna, juvenile, I hate to say this, but let's say one major building we have in the county suffers a catastrophic, loss through a wind or weather event. And
Most definitely, Judge. You should, if you feel like there are some items that are not on page, you can get the priority and put juvenile detention center or put anything other than.
well, why not why
is
don't
there
you
any other-
adopt your whole plan like we did in 2019, so everything's covered under the sun? And then you
That's your-
prioritize page 7 in addition to that.
Yeah, I basically have 7 pages in what I'm looking at, so I'm not looking at the whole document. But I thought that this was what you needed, $90 million of those 90, fund 50. If you're seeing other projects in the big document that are not included on page 7, and you feel like you want to remain flexible, because that's the key here. The key is for you to have the toolbox ready to use. And if there's some tools that are not in this toolbox, it's in page 7, well, maybe this is the time for you to say, well, why don't we just adopt the entire package if that's what you want, and have everything in there, and every single tool.
And I'm
in
okay with the
box.
priority. I'm just saying, why would you ever want to not put the whole plan in and cut yourself short? What if a road comes up or, something like that? Like, let's say you wanted to use 200,000 to do a match for a CDBG funded project. If you didn't adopt this plan, it wouldn't be eligible.
In fact, I don't think on page 7 you have roads.
Well, of course not.
Yeah.
That's why you adopt the plan like we did before, and then you say, and here is the priority for the for the 50.
And I think that's what I thought we were doing today was we weren't gonna vote on anything. we were just gonna go back and digest all of it. I thought that's what we talked about, and then come back. If we need to vote on page 7, because I just
I'm
read this.
fine with that.
Okay, that's all I
I
was
mean,
trying
I
to say.
think
Can we
Noe
just-
says yes.
Okay.
I'm just advocating for Noe, and I think if bond counsel were on this phone, they would tell you
Yeah,
that you adopt the plan as 98% done, and that this is what the underwriters are gonna want. I know, because I do all the interviews.
Judge,
They
I'll
don't
be
want,
happy
they
to-
don't want page 7.
I just would like time to look at this one. I'm okay
Yeah.
voting on this one, if you're okay with that.
Totally.
And then we can come back and do it. I didn't think we were gonna vote on anything today, but if we need to, because someone needs,
I think it's just like a head nod, like,
Okay.
he wants to vote so that he can know that that's the priority.
okay.
Why don't we vote on page 7, but Noe, next week or whenever the court has an opportunity to finalize, when it says 100%,
yes.
I'd like to come back and bring the plan as, and that gives you a chance, Commissioner, to go through it and say, hey, this one shouldn't be in here at all. But again, engineers don't look at priority, they look at need. They go around the county, they talk to everybody, and they say, what is it that you need? And then then it becomes a document in here.
So do we have to vote today, Noe? Do we have to vote today?
I think, the vote, Commissioner, as has been stated, is more as a nod for us, a guidance, because we want to present, we got to put documents out, got to talk to rating agencies, and we got to represent to the AG's office through bond counsel what the intent.
I think we lost him. No, we
We
can't
lost
hear
him.
you.
Can you hear us, Noe?
Numbers.
Got it. Yeah, he said that he needs
Just
to put out,
one
there he is.
items. And page 7, flexibility, but it's up to you. The problem is that I have to go out and disclose to investors what is it that we're gonna be doing with this money.
I got
And
you.
the more general form, the better. So,
Okay, so
I'm sorry if I
No,
confused things more.
I'll make a motion that we provide guidance to our financial advisor that page 7 represents way more than 50 million, represents $90 million, but that represents a comprehensive view of our priorities at this time, and that we will come back in a week and look for any others that might need to be added. Noe, will that suffice?
That's fine.
Or delete it?
Or deleted? Thank you.
Or delete, yeah.
Or deleted.
Add, change, delete.
And
yeah.
changed, edit, but that this, at this moment, is somewhat of a universe. Okay, will that suffice? If that suffices, could I get a second, please?
Second.
Okay, and all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're gonna try to come back, though, Tyner.
Thank you.
Thank you. On the
Thank you, Mr. Hinojosa.
25th.
Thank you.
We'll copy this item over to the 24th just in case it's needed,
Okay,
but
But that
Tars,
was- That was agenda, man. I mean, we need to say it by itself. I'm sorry? We can't say it with
he
an
wants it to
agenda.
do by itself.
right, and then the following day, on the 25th, if everybody's available, 9 AM, we'll have a workshop and one action item on the
Okay, so
25th.
24th is just for,
Just to clean up.
just to clean up. Any
Let-
questions?
Let you
Any-
communicate with Kyle and make any adjustments.
Maybe have Dale give us the report on his item, because that one might have to be taken out or just put a little bit in or something.
Right, right.
Yeah. I think I think that, I'll look, but I think the 25th is a Thursday and it's good for me. I just looked earlier. Does everybody want to get back with Tyner on that?
Right.
Okay. CUC, but we can cover that. Okay. Well,
Excuse me, Tanner, on the 24th, is that when that representative will be here?
Pardon me?
The representative for that company, that, the
Oh,
program.
yeah, I'm gonna
they're
discuss that with Dale, and then probably we're gonna have something from the company.
All right, thank you.
okay, so, Kyle, you're going to hear from commissioners between now and next week.
Sounds
And
great.
please do everything you can to accommodate them and their questions. And we thank you. I'm sure we're all going to have our weekend homework. So, anything else for Kyle before we dismiss him? Okay, thank you, Kyle.
Thank you,
In that
Commissioners.
case,
Thanks, Judge.
thank you.
Thank you.
In that case, can we move forward to adjournments in memory? Commissioner Hernandez?
I have no one.
Commissioner Modas? Commissioner Gonzalez?
I have one.
Okay.
Rodolfo, AKA Sonny Gonzalez, passed away Saturday at the age of 94. He was a long life resident of Corpus Christi, Nueces County. He loved to go to Golden Corral. That was his hangout. We would spend at least a couple of hours every time he went. And he was very active in the community during the time when he was younger. And worked in Reynolds and retired from Reynolds. So prayers go out to the family, and he will be remembered for a long time, forever. Amen.
Amen. Commissioner Chesney?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I have two, Your Honor, Tim Johns, who was a resident of Port Aransas and the son of Robin McKinney. I want to pass on our condolences to her and her family for the loss of Mr. Johns. Also wanted to remember the life of Ann Bowman. Ann was most recently a Regional Transportation Authority board member, but actually just a dear friend. She died unexpectedly. She lived a great life at the age of 83, but it was certainly still an unexpected shock to all of us that she passed away. And so I wanted to make sure and pass on condolences on behalf of the court to the Bowman family and to Robin McKinney and to the Johns family.
I have one, thank you. I was actually shocked when I saw this one. Gone too soon. Lillian Torres Helms. She is from Corpus Christi. Kyle, you might remember, she ran Turner Industries here in town. She went to Ray High School. She received, and she moved on from there. She started her own business. And then unfortunately, she had a battle with cancer after that, I believe. And she did have a bachelor degree of science from my alma mater as well, the University of Houston. She leaves behind a loving husband and parents and stepchildren and has grandchildren. And the obituary says that she was cherished. I doubt it. I mean, she was cherished, and I said that I have no doubt about that. Cherished by everybody that knew her because she was so amazing and so giving. And she liked to ride motorcycles. She played tennis. She had a very active place in our community as a volunteer for CASA. I met her as Turner Industries was always so giving towards scholarships for GED students. And she just was an amazing volunteer and a great community activist. And I just cannot believe that she's gone. And the last time I spoke with her, she was really focused on her new business adventure. And she had, really led an amazing life. I think she'd also run Turner Industries in Louisiana prior to coming here as one of their major vice presidents. And it's very, very important to have women in these fields, and there are so few of them. And she was just a real treasure. And I'm so sorry to have lost her. And like I said, I doubt that any of us will be able to replace her, to be honest with you. I just felt like she was a kindred spirit. So to her family, our greatest condolences, and to all of your adjournments in memory, we send our greatest prayers to all of their families, and we acknowledge all the people that have been lost to COVID-19. Thank you for allowing us to adjourn in their memory. The time is 1:10 p.m., and we are now adjourned. See you next week.
Judge, I don't know.